Chapter 2711. Book 1. Zhao Fu said seriously, "I can't tell you my identity." The black dragon said with a sinister smile, "Brat, if I wasn't sealed, I would have eaten you. I wouldn't have bothered to talk nonsense with you." Zhao Fu said, "The point is you are sealed now." The black dragon was angry, and a murderous look appeared in her eyes. If anyone dared to talk to her like this, she would have skinned him and roasted him over the fire. Seeing that Zhao Fu and the black dragon were in conflict, Long Hao interrupted and shouted, "Lord Zun Dragon, we are following the young master's order to find you." The black dragon turned to Long Hao. "Why are you from the divine dragon bloodline looking for me?" Long Hao said respectfully, "The wizard spirit immortal who sealed you has ascended to the celestial realm for many years. Now, we can help you to remove the seal." Hearing that, Zhao Fu thought to himself, "Sure enough, Long Hao and the others are here to remove the seal." The black dragon said bitterly, "That bitch has ascended to the celestial realm. Don't let me see her again. Otherwise, I will make her suffer." The black dragon looked at Long Hao. "Will the divine dragon bloodline be so kind as to help me remove the seal? Tell me, what do you want?" Long Hao replied, "As long as Lord Zun Dragon accepts our young master as your master." The black dragon sneered, "In your dreams, do you think I will surrender to the young master of the divine dragon bloodline?" Long Hao replied, "The demonic dragon bloodline doesn't care about you anymore. The other bloodlines won't save you either. Only the divine dragon bloodline is willing to help you." The black dragon snorted, "Then I would rather be sealed than surrender to anyone." Long Hao said seriously, "Lord Zun Dragon, you have to think this through. The seal is powerful enough to seal you for countless years. As long as you are willing to surrender to our young master, the divine dragon bloodline will help you remove the seal immediately." The black dragon said indifferently, "Anyway, I have a long life. Maybe I can remove the seal after a nap. Maybe I can reach the half-celestial realm and break the seal. I don't need to rely on you." Long Hao said reluctantly, "Lord Zun Dragon, please consider it." Black Dragon stared at Long Hao with a cold look in his eyes. "What? Didn't you hear what I said? Also, if you want to subdue me, ask your young master to do it himself." Long Hao felt an intense fear, and his body slightly trembled as he said, "Yes." At this moment, Zhao Fu asked, "Where is your treasure?" The black dragon said with a smile, "So, you're after my treasures. I'm afraid you'll be disappointed. Most of the treasures I collected were snatched away by that bitch, Wu Ling." Zhao Fu was shocked. The person who had sealed the black dragon was an immortal. Moreover, she had already ascended to the immortal realm. It was impossible for him to obtain the bronze fragment from her. Did that mean he had no way of collecting all the fragments? However, the black dragon had snatched away most of the treasures, not all of them. There was still a sliver of hope. Zhao Fu asked, "Where are the rest of your treasures?" The black dragon said in an evil and tempting manner, "My remaining treasures are below me. If you want them, you can come and get them." Zhao Fu was not that stupid. Zhao Fu had personally seen what had happened to the white dragon after it had entered the seal. Zhao Fu looked at the platform in front of the seal. This platform was definitely not formed naturally, so it definitely had its uses. Zhao Fu thought for a moment and flew to the platform. Boom! A massive explosion sounded out as countless powers gathered in the surroundings and formed a sorcerer mask above the platform, giving off a grayish-white light. After the mask was formed, it slowly floated towards Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu did not resist and allowed the mask to touch his face. A massive power burst out from the mask, and Zhao Fu's consciousness was pulled into a world. This world was the same as an ordinary world. It had dense forests, a deep blue sky, green grass, and flowers blooming on the roadside. Zhao Fu felt quite strange. How had his consciousness entered this place? He looked around before walking forwards. A few minutes later, Zhao Fu saw a platform with many thin wooden pillars. It seemed that this place was the core of the seal. Zhao Fu walked forwards. An image appeared above the wooden pillars. It was a woman wearing sorcerer clothes. Her figure and appearance were blurry, but she gave off an extremely terrifying power. Zhao Fu's expression became serious as he stopped. This image was most likely the person who had sealed the black dragon. The image looked at Zhao Fu, and Zhao Fu felt as if his body had been seen through. Fortunately, this image was only a portion of that person's power and not the true body. Otherwise, Zhao Fu would not be able to hide any secrets from this person at all. The immortal concealment token, the most important thing for Zhao Fu to hide his identity, had no effect. It was a pity that Zhao Fu did not have anything better to hide his identity. This immortal concealment token had been given to him by someone else. The image stretched out a hand and pressed down in the air. Boom! A massive pressure pressed down on Zhao Fu's body, causing Zhao Fu's body to sink. This power was too terrifying, causing Zhao Fu's knees to fall to the ground. Zhao Fu coldly harumphed. This was a world of consciousness, and there was no way to hide any power. A wave of pure source energy exploded out from Zhao Fu's body, and an aura that seemed to be the origin of all things emanated from Zhao Fu's body. He immediately blocked that terrifying pressure. The image looked astonished, as if she had never thought that Zhao Fu would be able to block that pressure so easily. Following this, she stretched out a hand and pressed down again, causing an even greater pressure to fall on Zhao Fu's body. Boom! Strands of black aura radiated out from Zhao Fu's body, and the waves of source energy rippled out, giving off an astonishing aura. That pressure was like a gigantic hand pressing down on Zhao Fu's body. Zhao Fu did his best to resist that pressure, and the ground started to crack bit by bit. This pressure was truly terrifying. It was so difficult for Zhao Fu to release his source energy, and the difference in their cultivations was simply too great. After a while, the image retracted her hand, and the pressure dissipated. Zhao Fu breathed a sigh of relief. The image looked at Zhao Fu, and Zhao Fu immediately felt an intense sense of danger. Zhao Fu stretched out both his hands, and waves of black energy gushed out from Zhao Fu's palms, forming an extremely thick black barrier of light that gave off an indestructible aura. The image slowly raised her hand and pointed at Zhao Fu. Boom! An unbelievably great power rushed toward Zhao Fu, and nothing could block it. In front of this power, all other powers seemed extremely weak. Bang! A loud sound rang out as the great power slammed against the black barrier of light, causing it to slowly split apart. Zhao Fu's body was forced back a step, but thankfully he was not injured. Chapter 2712. Book 1. Zhao Fu. The image once again raised its hand, and Zhao Fu sensed an even greater sense of danger. A massive wave of celestial energy flowed out of Zhao Fu's palm, forming a black and white Tai Chi symbol. It was 2 meters wide and gave off shocking power. Boom! An explosion sounded out as the image stretched out a hand and once again tapped toward Zhao Fu, and an even greater wave of power flowed toward Zhao Fu. Bang! The terrifying power slammed against the Tai Chi, causing a shockwave to spread out. Zhao Fu sent some of his power into the Tai Chi, causing it to quickly spin like a light disc. It dissipated the massive power, causing shocking ripples to spread out. The terrifying power was incredibly powerful and continued to slam against the Tai Chi symbol. The Tai Chi symbol was not spinning very quickly, and it was unable to disperse the massive power. Some cracks appeared on the Tai Chi symbol, and the terrifying power seeped through the cracks toward Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu immediately stretched out his other hand and pressed it against the Tai Chi symbol, causing an even greater wave of power to flow in. The Tai Chi symbol gave off boundless light and gave off a massive wave of power as it quickly spun, causing the ground to crack. Gradually, the power weakened, and the image retracted her hand. However, she continued to look at Zhao Fu, and Zhao Fu sensed an even more terrifying sense of danger. This time, Zhao Fu did not dare to underestimate her at all, and he lightly cried out, "Celestial mode. Activate!" Boom! A massive wave of celestial chi flooded out, and a Tai Chi symbol appeared on Zhao Fu's forehead. His eyes gave off light, and a rainbow-colored rune circle appeared around Zhao Fu, causing Zhao Fu to give off the aura of a true celestial. The image stretched out her hand and once again tapped out. In that instant, time and space seemed to have stopped. A finger force slowly shot toward Zhao Fu, as if it could destroy everything. Zhao Fu's expression was solemn. His body seemed to be imprisoned by the power of that finger. He immediately released a powerful celestial force, and the 7 colored runes around his body slowly rotated. A powerful twisting force spread out, causing the power of that finger to slowly shift. Bang! A massive explosion sounded out as the finger landed on the ground behind Zhao Fu. A terrifying explosion spread out, causing the ground, boulders, trees, and flowers in the surroundings to instantly explode. A violent gust of wind blew countless gravel and debris into the air. When the dust settled, a 1,000-meter-wide crater could be seen. If Zhao Fu had not deflected that attack, he would have been heavily injured. The phantom continued to look at Zhao Fu. At this time, Zhao Fu did not feel any danger. Countless motes of light condensed in front of the phantom, forming a sorcerer mask made of wood, which floated toward Zhao Fu. The phantom spoke in a light voice. "Take this sorcerer spirit mask, and you will be one of the sorcerer's sons. You can go to the sorcerer land to compete with other sorcerer's sons and become a member of the sorcerer race. You will also be able to obtain the legacy that I have left in this world." Hearing this, Zhao Fu did not refuse. The sorcerer race could give birth to a celestial, so the legacy power would definitely not be weak. Zhao Fu needed all sorts of powerful legacies, so he naturally would not refuse. Zhao Fu put the mask on his face, and the wooden mask fused into his face and disappeared. A massive wave of sorcerer power spread out from Zhao Fu's body. This was celestial sorcerer power. It was not any weaker than the desolate ancient dragon race's power. Zhao Fu happily absorbed the celestial sorcerer power, and Zhao Fu's body started to change. Some runes started to appear on Zhao Fu's body. His aura also became mysterious and ancient. After absorbing the sorcerer power, Zhao Fu's power became a bit stronger. He also obtained many abilities related to sorcerers, such as healing, summoning ghosts and gods, avoiding disasters, casting curses, and other abilities. Because there were too many, I will not go into detail. Now that the mask had fused with Zhao Fu, it could transform when he used it. Not only could it prove that Zhao Fu was a sorcerer's son, but it was also the source of the sorcerer power in Zhao Fu's body. Without the mask, the sorcerer power in Zhao Fu's body would also disappear. Also, this mask had the support of celestial force, so it had a better effect of hiding one's aura. Ordinary half-celestials would not be able to discover Zhao Fu's identity, and there was even a small chance that he could hide it from celestials. However, this was only a small chance. If he attracted the attention of celestials, Zhao Fu's identity would most likely be exposed. Although Zhao Fu did not know what the sorcerer's land was, he was very interested in it. After dealing with all sorts of things, Zhao Fu planned to go to the sorcerer's land to take a look. Looking at the platform, Zhao Fu walked onto it. There was no power stopping him. Following this, Zhao Fu's consciousness returned to his body, and a thin wooden pillar appeared in front of him. The black dragon had a look of astonishment. "How did you control the seal?" Long Hao and the other 3 looked at Zhao Fu in shock. They understood that Zhao Fu controlled the seal and could release or continue to seal the black dragon at any time. Just now, when Zhao Fu's consciousness had been pulled into another space, no one knew what had happened. Zhao Fu said with a smile, "Is it very strange?" The black dragon said with a smile, "Yes, I didn't expect you to control the seal. Don't you want the treasures? You can choose any of my treasures as long as you can undo the seal and release me." Zhao Fu lightly laughed. "You don't have a right to negotiate with me right now." The black dragon's power was incredibly terrifying, and she was quite evil. If she was released, she would not be under Zhao Fu's control. Moreover, if Zhao Fu obtained the shaman spirit shaman power and became one of the shaman's sons, the black dragon might just kill him. Hearing Zhao Fu's words, the black dragon's gaze became cold. "You still dare to be so arrogant in front of me?" Do you believe that I won't kill you right now? Be good and undo my seal, and I promise not to kill you." Zhao Fu coldly laughed and did not reply to the black dragon's words. He stretched out a hand, and a formless energy flowed out. The thin wooden pillars floating in front of him seemed to be controlled and gave off a faint light. Boom! A massive explosion sounded out as the sky gave off countless rays of light. Massive, slender wooden pillars slowly stretched out from the sky, giving off a boundless power. The scene was quite shocking. The black dragon sensed danger, and her expression became quite unsightly as she cried out, "What are you doing?" Zhao Fu did not say anything and coldly smiled as he stretched out his hand and pressed down. Swish, 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 the wooden pillars gave off terrifying power as they shot down from the sky like bolts of lightning, piercing into the black dragon's body. Blood flew everywhere as the black dragon howled in pain. Long Hao and the others looked quite shocked. They had never thought that Zhao Fu would dare to act against such a terrifying black dragon. They could only look up to the black dragon in fear and did not have any thoughts of acting against them. Zhao Fu was the first person they had seen, and he was even more courageous than their young master. Chapter 27:13. Book 1, Chapter 158, translated by Hypersheep 325, edited by Mike. Here, the black dragon's expression was savage, and her eyes were filled with killing intent as she said, "Boy, you're dead for sure. I'll cut you into 1,000 pieces and destroy your soul." Zhao Fu coldly harumphed. "Do you think I'm afraid of you now? Hand over your treasures and you'll suffer less." The black dragon furiously cried out, "Keep dreaming. I'll definitely kill you." Zhao Fu did not say anything else, and his expression was cold as he pushed forwards with his hand. A wave of energy flowed out, and the wooden stakes floating in front of Zhao Fu gave off an even more intense light. The slender wooden pillars that were stabbed into the black dragon's body were slowly pulled out, and then rose into the air, bringing with them an even more powerful force as they fell from the sky. The black dragon howled in pain as her body was once again pierced by the wooden stakes, causing blood to continuously flow out. The wooden stakes were once again pulled out and gave off terrifying power as they pierced through the black dragon's body. The black dragon howled in pain as there were many bloody holes on her body and blood continuously flowed out, dyeing the ground blood red. Zhao Fu said, "I'll give you one more chance. Hand over your treasures." The black dragon savagely looked at Zhao Fu, wanting to kill Zhao Fu. However, she still gave in because she did not want to endure such intense pain. After a moment of silence, the black dragon asked, "What are the benefits of handing over my treasures?" Zhao Fu thought for a moment before saying, "Apart from undoing the seal, what do you want?" The black dragon's expression became cold. What she wanted the most was undoing the seal, but Zhao Fu had rejected her immediately. Apart from undoing the seal, she did not want anything else, so she said, "I just want to undo the seal. I don't want anything else." Zhao Fu frowned and once again pushed out with his hand, causing the thin wooden stakes to come out of the black dragon's body and float in the air, giving off a shocking aura. The black dragon said angrily, "You can continue. This seal will only make me feel pain for a while. It can't kill me, and you can forget about obtaining the treasure." Hearing this, Zhao Fu stopped. This seal was mainly used to seal the black dragon. It could not kill the black dragon. Now, the black dragon's injuries would quickly recover. Zhao Fu pondered for a moment. "I can undo the seal, but I have to wait for 100 years. The black dragon immediately agreed. All right, the black dragon had been sealed here for thousands of years. Now, it only needed to wait 100 years. The black dragon felt that it was very easy. Zhao Fu said, "Now, hand over the treasure." The black dragon looked at Zhao Fu and said, "How can I trust you? What if you don't come to touch the seal after 100 years? Zhao Fu said, "I will leave a restriction in the core of this seal. After 100 years, the restriction will be unlocked and you will be released." The black dragon nodded in satisfaction and smiled as she said, "Leave the restriction first." A wave of power flowed out of Zhao Fu's hand, and entered the thin wooden stakes, forming restrictions that covered the wooden stakes. Zhao Fu looked at the black dragon and said, "Is this okay now?" The black dragon smiled and climbed up from the ground. A black hole that was a few meters wide had appeared below her head. This was most likely the black dragon's treasure. Even though the black dragon had a harmless smile on her face, she was thinking about how to kill Zhao Fu after the seal was unlocked. She wanted to use her teeth to chew Zhao Fu's body into mincemeat. Zhao Fu knew that the black dragon would not let him off so easily, and he knew the consequences of unlocking the seal. However, Zhao Fu still did this. This was because Zhao Fu was not someone from the primal chaos world, so the black dragon would not be able to find Zhao Fu even if she wanted to take revenge. Moreover, now that Zhao Fu was a higher being, he would not be afraid of the black dragon. As for this restriction, Zhao Fu could not undo it. Once Zhao Fu tried to undo it, the seal would be unlocked. If Zhao Fu did not do this, the black dragon would not believe that he would hand over the treasure. Zhao Fu stood on the platform and looked at the black hole as he said, "Take out everything." The treasure was within the seal, and if Zhao Fu stepped into it, the black dragon would attack him. As such, to be careful, Zhao Fu would not enter the seal. The black dragon lightly laughed. "Don't worry, I won't attack you. It's fine if you don't want to come in." After speaking, the black dragon swung its claws, sending out a few cold lights that tore the black hole apart. Crackle! Countless treasures fell from the void like it was raining. There were gold coins, weapons, armor, bottles, jars, and all sorts of jewels. The treasures piled up into a small mountain that was more than 20 meters tall and gave off all sorts of treasure lights, illuminating the area within 100 meters. Even though most of the things had been taken away by the shaman spirit, there were still a lot of things left. Among them, there were many shiny gold coins. Many dragons liked this type of shiny gold coins. Apart from these gold coins, the rest of the items were not ordinary. They were all very precious treasures. Zhao Fu did not care about these things because Zhao Fu's main goal was the bronze shards. If the bronze shard were taken to the immortal world by the shaman spirit, then it would be impossible for Zhao Fu to collect all of them. Zhao Fu felt nervous and sent a wave of power into the other shards in his body. The treasure mountain gave off a faint fluctuation, causing Zhao Fu to heave a sigh of relief and smile. This treasure mountain had things that Zhao Fu wanted. Without saying anything, Zhao Fu waved his hand and put everything into his storage ring. Zhao Fu looked at the black dragon. With the black dragon's power, her legacy power would definitely be very powerful. Moreover, Zhao Fu also wanted to obtain higher-grade primordial dragon power. Zhao Fu said, "I also need your legacy power." The black dragon looked surprised and looked at Zhao Fu as she asked, "What do you want my legacy power for?" Zhao Fu said, "You don't have to worry about that." The black dragon lightly harumphed. "I'll give it to you, but you have to enter the seal. Do you have the guts to come in?" Zhao Fu hesitated before making a decision and saying, "I can." Zhao Fu walked towards the seal while controlling the wooden pillars on the platform. If the black dragon dared to attack him, he would use the seal to block it. Even so, entering was still a very dangerous thing. After entering the seal, Zhao Fu looked at the black dragon and said, "Give me your legacy power." The black dragon looked at the tiny Zhao Fu in front of her and wanted to raise her claws and slap Zhao Fu into meat paste. However, she held back. Killing Zhao Fu was just to vent her anger and would not bring her any benefits. Giving him the power of inheritance meant that he was also her successor. She did not lose anything, and she could rely on the power of inheritance to find him. Once the seal was removed, it would be time for her to take revenge. No matter what she did, she would properly vent her anger. Chapter 2714. Book 1. Zhao Fu's legacy power. The black dragon raised a mountain-like dragon claw, and countless traces of legacy power gathered. The claw gave off boundless black light as a massive drop of dragon blood flowed out from the claw. This drop of dragon blood continuously condensed and turned into a 2-meter-long black dragon that gave off a shocking aura as it flew toward Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu stood there and did not move, allowing the black dragon to enter his body. Boom! A massive explosion sounded out as countless traces of black light shot out from Zhao Fu's body. A massive wave of ancient demon dragon power exploded out, and under this wave of dragon power, Zhao Fu's body quickly dragonified. Black dragon horns grew on his head, and black scales grew on his body. Zhao Fu quickly absorbed this legacy power and also fused with the ancient demon dragon's bloodline. This ancient demon dragon's bloodline was extremely pure. Boom! Zhao Fu gave off massive power as he turned into a black ray of light and flew into the sky. Countless rays of black light shot out as Zhao Fu turned into a 10 or so meter long black dragon, and a massive dragon's might spread out, covering the surrounding 1,000 kilometers. Zhao Fu now looked almost like the black dragon. He had 3 blade-like dragon horns on his head, a pair of pure black dragon eyes, and his body was covered with black steel-like scales. However, Zhao Fu's body was much more slender and did not seem as powerful as the black dragon's, and the aura that he gave off was incredibly domineering and powerful. The black dragon looked quite confused. She had never thought that Zhao Fu would be able to perfectly absorb her bloodline and legacy power. The aura that Zhao Fu gave off was like that of a true ancient demon dragon, but it was difficult to imagine that this person was not an ancient demon dragon. Seeing this scene, Long Hao and the others felt incredibly shocked and felt that Zhao Fu was simply too powerful. He had instantly turned into someone from their race. Zhao Fu first sensed the power in his body before smiling and returning to his human form and standing in the sky. Black Dragon looked at Zhao Fu seriously. She had felt that Zhao Fu was quite extraordinary, so she asked, "Just who are you, boy?" Zhao Fu said with a smile, "Who do you think I am?" The Black Dragon said, "You're at least a son of Saint, right?" Zhao Fu chuckled and said, "Probably." Of course, Zhao Fu would not reveal his identity. Moreover, Zhao Fu used to be a son of Saint. Now he was a son of Origin. The Black Dragon frowned and asked, "Probably?" Zhao Fu did not reply to the Black Dragon and said, "You've given me a treasure trove and a legacy. I don't plan on doing anything else to you. I hope you understand this, and don't force me to do anything to you." The Black Dragon was displeased. This brat actually dared to warn her. She would only deal with this brat after the seal was removed. He was just a saint's son. She was not afraid. At most, she would eat him and escape from the primal chaos world. The Black Dragon's expression was cold, and she did not reply to Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu looked at Long Hao and the others and said, "I have some matters to attend to, so I'll be leaving first." Long Hao smiled as he said, Thank you for this time. Thank you for this time. If we have the chance to meet again in the future, we brothers will come and thank you again." Zhao Fu nodded and turned into a ray of light as he shot over the horizon and disappeared. Long Hao and the others looked at the Black Dragon and understood that their plan had failed. They had not convinced the Black Dragon to submit to their young master, and the Black Dragon would break out in 100 years. Bookstore, this matter was incredibly important, and Long Hao felt that he had to tell the young master about it in detail, especially about Zhao Fu. The Black Dragon did not have time to pay attention to Long Hao and the others, and she lay on the ground and continued to sleep as her injuries quickly healed. Following this, Long Hao and the others left and returned to the primordial dragon race. After arriving at the Alliance City, where he had agreed to meet with Ericina and the other women, the women smiled when they saw that Zhao Fu had returned. They asked about what had happened and if there were any bronze shards inside. Zhao Fu smiled as he told them about what had happened inside and took out the bronze shard that was as big as a finger. This was the 6th bronze shard that Zhao Fu had obtained, and after refining it, Zhao Fu's primal chaos source energy would become slightly stronger. After dealing with these matters, Zhao Fu called over the elder, Feng Su. This time, he had told Zhao Fu about the bronze shard and Zhao Fu how to enter the sealed region. Zhao Fu had also agreed to help him find his father's relics. Within the many treasures, Zhao Fu found a halberd that had a bloodline aura similar to Feng Su's. It was most likely Feng Su's father's relics. Zhao Fu handed the halberd to Feng Su. Feng Su recognized his father's weapon at first glance. His body trembled as he took the halberd and touched it carefully. Tears welled up in his eyes as he said to Zhao Fu gratefully, "Thank you." Zhao Fu said with a smile, "You're welcome." Flying Bloodfish looked at the elder and said, "Why don't you submit to him as well? This is a great opportunity for you." Zhao Fu looked at the elder. Subduing an Emptiness Realm expert would be beneficial to Zhao Fu. The elder said apologetically, "Blood Sovereign, I'm sorry. I still have family to take care of, so I can't follow you." Zhao Fu smiled and said, "It's nothing. You don't have to apologize." Following this, Zhao Fu and the others bid farewell to Feng Su and continued towards the relic where Flying Bloodfish had obtained the bronze shard. Zhao Fu felt that he was heading in the right direction. If he hadn't gone to this place, Zhao Fu wouldn't have obtained the 6th bronze shard and made progress in comprehending the evil immortal's domain. After traveling for 7 to 8 days, Zhao Fu and the others finally arrived at the location of the relic. Before them was a stretch of ruins. Weeds grew everywhere, and some small animals were hopping around. They looked very ordinary and didn't emit any dangerous aura. According to Flying Bloodfish, the relic had appeared suddenly and hadn't existed for a long time. Moreover, the relic had only appeared because it was on the verge of collapse. Flying Bloodfish and the others hastily flew into the relic and explored it. Now that a long time had passed, there shouldn't be anything left behind. Even if there were, it would have been taken by others. Zhao Fu arrived at the center of the relic and pressed his hand on the ground. The 6 bronze shards in his body emitted an intense radiance, and a tremendous amount of primal chaos origin power gushed out from Zhao Fu's hand, spreading outwards like waves of golden radiance. If there were any bronze shards left here, Zhao Fu would have sensed them. However, there was no reaction, which meant that there were no bronze shards left here. Zhao Fu wasn't disappointed. He had already expected this. Flying Bloodfish looked at Zhao Fu's expression and knew that there was nothing left. He said, "I already said that the relic doesn't exist anymore. What should we do now? Where should we find the bronze shards?" Zhao Fu thought for a moment and said, "Let's search the nearby area. If we can't find it, we can only leave this place. As for where we should go next, I don't know. We can only take one step at a time." Chapter 2715. Book 1. Chapter 160. Long Hao's group of 4 returned to the desolate ancient dragon clan and entered a hall made of white stone. At the head of the hall sat an extremely beautiful woman in white clothes who gave off a holy aura. She was the young lord of the desolate ancient dragon clan, and she was called Long Huiling. Long Huiling was talking to a handsome man with long azure hair and wearing azure clothes embroidered with dragon patterns. He gave off a gentle aura. This man was called Long Qing Hong, and he was the young lord of the desolate ancient Wood Dragon clan. Seeing Long Hao and the others return, Long Huiling looked at Long Hao and asked, "How did it go?" Long Hao looked at Long Qing Hong. Long Huiling said, "Go ahead. He's my good friend, so it's fine." Long Hao bowed as he said, "There's been a big change." Long Huiling's expression became serious as she asked, "What change?" Long Hao replied, "When we entered the sealed region, we encountered a mysterious person wearing a cloak. He was very powerful, and we relied on his power to reach the depths of the seal." Hearing this mysterious man, Long Huiling frowned. Long Hao continued, "We've completed what young lord told us to do. The seal's power is still very powerful, and ordinary higher beings can't undo it. Lord Dragon Sovereign refused to submit to young lord." Long Huiling nodded. She had already expected this, so she was not surprised. She asked in confusion, "What do you mean by a big change?" Long Hao said, "It's that mysterious person who became a shaman's son and controlled the seal. He made a deal with Dragon Sovereign, and the seal will be undone in 100 years. Hearing that, Long Huiling and Long Qinghong's expressions became serious. If the demonic dragon broke out of the seal, it would be a big deal. Because the demonic dragon caused trouble everywhere, she had offended many dragon clans. However, The demonic dragon was so powerful that ordinary dragon clans couldn't suppress her. If she broke out of the seal, they would more or less have some trouble. If Long Huiling didn't want to subdue the demon dragon, she wouldn't have let such a disaster out. Long Hao said, "That's right. That mysterious person even obtained the legacy of the revered dragon and became a member of our desolate ancient dragon clan. What's shocking is that his bloodline aura is extremely pure." Long Huiling was surprised. Even if ordinary people obtained their bloodline, it would be a mixed bloodline. How could they obtain their pure dragon bloodline? This person was very special and definitely not ordinary. The dragon emblem spirit immediately said, "Tell me everything you know." Long Hao replied, "Yes. When we entered the sealed area, I noticed a trace of dragon chi on his body. He said that he was from the Supreme Dragon Clan. I wonder if young master has heard of this dragon clan?" Long Huiling shook her head and looked at Long Qinghong. Long Qinghong had a strange look on her face. When did such a dragon appear? I've never heard of it before. Long Hao said, "We don't know if what he said is true or false. Although he's from the Dragon Clan, he's been using other powers, and he might be the legendary Holy Sun." The revered dragon asked about his identity, and he doesn't fear the revered dragon at all. He even used the seal to torture the revered dragon, so his identity might be true. Long Qinghong said seriously, "The demon dragon bloodline hasn't chosen a young master yet. This person obtained the demon dragon bloodline and the legacy of the revered dragon, and he might be the legendary Holy Sun. He's the most suitable candidate for the demon dragon bloodline's young master." Long Huiling nodded. "This matter is indeed very important. We need to discuss it properly." Zhao Fu and the others went to a nearby Alliance city to collect information. They heard some information about this relic, and they learned a lot about what had happened after the relic had been destroyed. The historical remnant seemed to be a fragment of a small world. It had existed for a very long time and had always been hidden within the void. There was no way to enter it, so no one knew of its existence. It was only when the power protecting the historical remnant disappeared and the historical remnant was about to collapse that it appeared before everyone. Back then, many people had entered the relic, and some of them had obtained quite a bit of good stuff. Zhao Fu knew that the flying bloodfish was one of them, since the flying bloodfish could obtain fragments from it, and his friend had obtained one. Did the others obtain it? There was a high possibility of that. Zhao Fu felt that he could find these people, and he might be able to obtain a few bronze fragments from them. This bit of gain made Zhao Fu reveal a happy smile. After the relic collapsed, something happened. Where the relic fell, there seemed to be a special power that caused some plants and bug beasts to undergo changes. Those plants and bug beasts grew rapidly, and they even easily turned into human forms. After the desolate race absorbed all the energy in that area, they left. It was unknown where they went, and they disappeared for a long period of time. The relic eventually turned into its current state, and there was nothing special about it. Zhao Fu believed that they were affected by the power of origins, which resulted in such a change. It was unknown if they had bronze fragments in their hands. That was also possible. Now, Zhao Fu needed to place his sights on these two types of people, and he should be able to find something. However, after so many years, these people were very difficult to find. Most importantly, it was unknown how many people had entered, so it was not an easy task. Zhao Fu planned to start his search from the vicinity. Many of the people who entered the relic back then were from the vicinity. Zhao Fu did not plan on searching them one by one, as it would be a waste of time. Not only would he not be able to find them, it might even be useless even if he found them. They needed bronze fragments in their hands. With a little thought, Zhao Fu thought of a method. This method was very simple, and it was to directly use money to buy it. Zhao Fu immediately got people to pull up a banner in the square. He also got people to bring out a table and some chairs and sat under the banner. The banner wrote, "Search for the relic left behind by the ancestors in the relic. It is an abnormally hard bronze fragment. Whoever finds it will receive 1,000,000,000 Alliance gold coins." The square immediately went into an uproar. 1,000,000,000 Alliance gold coins would pile up into a small mountain, so much so that a few rooms wouldn't be able to contain it. With so much money, even spirit realm cultivators, who were stronger than emptiness realm experts, would be tempted, much less ordinary people. Countless people surrounded Zhao Fu, excitedly asking if it was true. If they found that bronze fragment, they would receive 1,000,000,000 gold coins. Zhao Fu said, "It's true. Whoever finds the relic of the ancestor and hands it to me will receive 1,000,000,000 gold coins. I don't know how many pieces the relic of the ancestor is in. If you find one piece, I will give 1,000,000,000. If you find 2 pieces, I will give 2,000,000,000. If you find 10 pieces, I will give 10,000,000,000. The scene immediately became even more lively. Countless people's hearts were beating rapidly. They became extremely excited and agitated. They immediately went to search for the bronze fragment. Chapter 27:16. Book 1. Zhao Fu, Zhao Fu, Zhao Fu. If he was lucky enough to obtain one, he would receive 1,000,000,000 gold coins. He would not be able to spend that much money in his lifetime, and with that much money, he would be able to build his own faction. With that much money, he would be able to buy all sorts of precious treasures to increase his cultivation. With so much money, everyone felt incredibly excited and almost went crazy. Soon, the entire city heard about this, and it became quite lively as everyone searched for the bronze shards. The news quickly spread to nearby cities, causing them to excitedly search for the bronze shards. To Zhao Fu, money was everything. If he could use money to buy a bronze shard, let alone 1,000,000,000, he would even be willing to spend several billion. If anyone wanted a bronze shard, they would most likely come to trade, as bronze shards were useless to them. Of course, buying a bronze shard for 1,000,000,000 gold coins would make people suspicious, but since Zhao Fu said that it was an ancestor's relic, everyone could understand. This location was quite remote, and no one would think that the bronze shard that Zhao Fu was looking for was something that other people were looking for, making them even more relaxed. Zhao Fu sat on a chair in the square and waited. Zhao Fu did not know if this method would allow him to obtain a bronze shard, and it would be too difficult and a waste of time to look for them one by one. Soon, many people gathered around with bronze shards in their hands. They excitedly asked if the shard in their hands was the one that Zhao Fu was looking for, causing the scene to become quite chaotic. Zhao Fu called out, "Line up one by one." Everyone immediately started to line up, and Zhao Fu had Ericina and the other women maintain order so that the scene would not become chaotic. The first was a big man with a beard. He held a bronze shard that was as big as a palm, and after it was about an inch long, he excitedly asked, "Is this the bronze shard that you found?" Zhao Fu did not even want to look at such a big piece and directly said, "This isn't the bronze shard that I found." The big man said unwillingly, "Take another look. Maybe it's the fragment you're looking for. Let me tell you, this fragment was passed down by my grandfather for many years. In fact, this bronze fragment was something that the burly man had just knocked off a bronze chariot. The burly man looked very old, so he wouldn't be able to fool Zhao Fu with it. If he could trick it, he would be able to obtain 1,000,000,000 gold coins, and he would be rich." Zhao Fu said, "That's really not it." Next, seeing that he couldn't fool Zhao Fu, the big man didn't waste any more time. He immediately left to search for the bronze shard. The next one was also a strong young man. Just now, when they said that they would have to queue up, the strong people all rushed to the front. In actuality, they didn't have to fight over it. As long as it was real, Zhao Fu would definitely take it. Even if it was fake, he wouldn't want it. Zhao Fu had already explained it, but these people just wouldn't listen and wanted to stand at the front. The second person brought a thin bronze shard that was as big as a leaf. It looked quite ancient, and Zhao Fu carefully sensed it, but the bronze shard within his body didn't have any reaction. This meant that this bronze shard wasn't what Zhao Fu was looking for. Zhao Fu said, "Apologies, this isn't it. That's not it." Next, hearing this, the young man looked quite disappointed and turned to leave. He planned to continue searching, as 1,000,000,000 gold coins was simply too tempting. The third person was a tall man who handed a bronze shard to Zhao Fu. This bronze shard seemed to have just been melted and looked quite new. This person was even more perfunctory than the first person, wanting to use a new bronze shard to trick Zhao Fu. Did he think that Zhao Fu was an idiot? Zhao Fu frowned and said, "This isn't it?" Next, the man said somewhat shamelessly, "Why isn't this one? This is something that I found after searching for a long time. It's definitely the bronze shard you're looking for." Boom! A massive aura exploded out from Zhao Fu's body, rippling out like water, causing everyone to feel an intense fear. The tall man looked at Zhao Fu in fear before turning and running away. Zhao Fu's expression was cold as he stood up and said, "As long as it's a real bronze shard, I'm willing to spend 1 billion gold coins to buy it. However, don't try to trick me with a fake, or don't blame me for being impolite." Hearing this, some people lowered their heads and quickly left. It was evident that they wanted to trick Zhao Fu, but after sensing Zhao Fu's power, they no longer had any courage. The remaining people most likely weren't trying to trick Zhao Fu. This saved Zhao Fu a lot of time. The fourth person was an ordinary-looking middle-aged woman. Facing Zhao Fu, she looked quite nervous as she handed a bronze shard to Zhao Fu and said, "Do you think this is it?" Zhao Fu looked at it. This bronze shard was most likely a bronze cauldron shard, and he said, "Sorry, it's not." "Oh." The middle-aged woman nodded before taking the bronze shard and preparing to leave. Seeing that everyone was afraid of him, Zhao Fu's expression softened, and he smiled as he said, "Everyone, you don't need to be afraid of me. As long as you don't try to trick me, I won't harm you. It wasn't easy for you to find a bronze shard, so anyone who finds the shard will receive 100 gold coins as a reward." Everyone immediately became happy. Even if it wasn't, there would still be a reward. Even though it wasn't a lot, it was still something to be happy about. Everyone was no longer afraid of Zhao Fu, and the scene became livelier as everyone excitedly lined up. The middle-aged woman turned and asked, "Do I have it now?" Zhao Fu nodded and waved his hand, causing 100 gold coins to appear on the table. The middle-aged woman put away the gold coins and thanked Zhao Fu before turning and leaving. The fifth person was a valiant-looking young man. He impatiently walked up and smiled as he asked, "Sir, please take a look at mine." Zhao Fu looked at it and said, "It's not." The young man felt quite disappointed and smiled as he nodded. He had already expected this outcome and knew that it wouldn't be so easy to obtain the 1 billion gold coins. Zhao Fu waved his hand and gave him 100 gold coins. The young man put away the gold coins and thanked Zhao Fu before turning and leaving. The news quickly spread that anyone who participated would receive a gold coin reward. This caused everyone to feel quite shocked, and they felt that Zhao Fu had a lot of money. If hundreds of thousands of people went, they would have to give away tens of millions of gold coins, which they would be quite reluctant to do. Seeing how rich Zhao Fu was, some people who were worried that Zhao Fu didn't have that much money felt completely at ease. At the same time, everyone was quite curious about Zhao Fu's identity. Zhao Fu's actions won the favor of many people, and with the gold coins, many people took their bronze shards to Zhao Fu to see if they were what Zhao Fu needed. This method collected almost all of the bronze shards nearby, and it was much easier for Zhao Fu to find them himself. Apex. Chapter 2717. Book 1, Zhao Fu. Half a day later, even though there were many bronze shards, none of them were what Zhao Fu wanted, causing Zhao Fu to feel quite disappointed. Only half a day had passed, and there were still many people who had not arrived yet. As such, Zhao Fu still felt some hope. Erasinus said caringly, "Do you want to rest for a while?" Zhao Fu replied, "No need, it's not tiring. It's just a bit boring." The next person was an elderly man who handed an ancient-looking bronze shard to Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu tried to sense it, but could not sense anything. So he said, "I'm sorry. This isn't it." The elderly man gave a disappointed laugh and took the 100 gold coins and left. Another decent-looking woman happily handed a bronze shard to Zhao Fu. However, Zhao Fu still could not sense anything, so he once again said that it wasn't it. Within the Alliance City, Zhao Fu did not dare to sense too much, as the energy ripples he gave off were the auras of source energy. If he used this energy, his identity would be revealed. Otherwise, Zhao Fu would be able to sense countless people at once, and he would not have to do this one by one. At that moment, a 7 or 8-year-old fair-skinned and cute boy walked over to Zhao Fu and grinned as he said, "Big brother, take a look, right?" Zhao Fu looked at the shard in the boy's hand. It was 3 inches long and 2 fingers wide, and there were traces of rust on its surface. It looked quite ancient. After sensing it, the shard within Zhao Fu's body slightly trembled and actually reacted. This was the bronze shard that Zhao Fu had been looking for. Zhao Fu gave a delighted smile as he stretched out his hand and took the shard. He felt much more at ease and smiled as he said to the boy, "This is the bronze shard that I've been looking for." Everyone immediately burst into an uproar. They had never thought that someone would actually be able to find a bronze shard, which was worth 1 billion gold coins. Everyone's gazes fell on the little boy, and their faces were filled with envy and jealousy. With 1 billion gold coins, no matter who it was, they would become rich. They could buy anything they wanted. The little boy stood there in a daze. He had come to try and buy snacks with the 100 gold coins, but he had never thought that the bronze shard would be what Zhao Fu was looking for. To him, 100 gold coins was a lot, but how much was 1 billion gold coins? Zhao Fu smiled and said gently, "Do you have more fragments like this? If there's more, I'll get 1 billion gold coins." The little boy shook his head, "No." "And how much is 1 billion gold coins?" Zhao Fu said with a smile, "It's a lot of money. You won't be able to spend it all. Tell me, how did you get this bronze fragment?" The little boy looked very happy and said with a smile, "I think my father picked it up from outside. I didn't know it was what you were looking for." Zhao Fu continued to ask, "What about your dad?" The little boy said somewhat sadly, "My dad died a long time ago, and I'm with my mom now." Zhao Fu wanted the little boy to tell his mother to come and get the money, but seeing the greedy gazes of everyone else, he felt that it would be dangerous for the little boy to go back by himself. As such, he smiled and said, "Where's your home? I'll give the money to your mom, and there are some things I want to ask her." The little boy smiled and nodded, saying, "All right, I'll take you home." Zhao Fu left the matters here to Ericina and followed the little boy to his home, which was a small courtyard. The little boy happily ran in and called out, "Mom, I'm back." A beautiful woman walked out of the room, and her beautiful eyes fell on Zhao Fu's body. She didn't know why Zhao Fu had come to her home. The little boy smiled and hugged his mother with both hands. The beautiful woman softly smiled as she asked, "Where did you go to play?" The little boy smiled excitedly as he said, "Mom, I took Father's bronze shard to the square. That's the shard this big brother was looking for. Mom, we have 1 billion gold coins." The beautiful woman looked incredibly shocked. She had heard about this before, but she had not thought much about it. She had never thought that her home would have that bronze shard, and 1 billion gold coins was an astronomical figure to her. Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "I'll give you 1 billion gold coins, but I need you to tell me some things." The beautiful woman came back to her senses and hurriedly invited Zhao Fu into the house. After walking in, Zhao Fu sat on a stool at the table. Just as the beautiful woman was about to bring some tea and snacks, Zhao Fu said, "There's no need to go through so much trouble." The beautiful woman apologetically smiled as she said, "I'm sorry, we don't have anything good to entertain you at home. If you have anything to ask, I'll tell you everything I know." Zhao Fu smiled as he asked, "How did you obtain that bronze shard?" The beautiful woman thought about it and said, "I've forgotten about that. It seems that my husband found it in the ruins in the west and left it at home." The ruins in the west were where the historical remnant had been, and Zhao Fu's guess was correct. After the historical remnant had been destroyed, some things had been obtained by nearby people. Zhao Fu asked, "Do you have any more bronze shards like that? If you do, I'll give you another 1 billion gold coins." The beautiful woman shook her head. "Only this one. There's nothing else." Zhao Fu felt quite disappointed and handed a spatial ring to the beautiful woman as he said, "There's 1 billion gold coins in here. Take it." The beautiful woman hurriedly shook her head. Zhao Fu felt quite curious as he asked, "What is it?" This was 1 billion gold coins, and even though the beautiful woman felt quite tempted, she could not keep such a large sum of money. It was possible that as soon as Zhao Fu left, someone would come to rob him, and she and her son would lose their lives. As such, she did not dare to accept it. Moreover, compared to so much money, she had more important things to do. She called the boy over and asked, "Sir, what do you think of my son?" Zhao Fu looked at him and replied, "He's quite lively." The beautiful woman respectfully bowed to Zhao Fu and said, "I hope that sir can accept my son and have him follow by your side." A person who could casually take out 1 billion gold coins had an unimaginably noble status. If her son followed by his side, his future would be very bright. This was more important than 1 billion gold coins. Zhao Fu lightly smiled as he looked at the beautiful woman. Facing Zhao Fu's gaze, the beautiful woman understood Zhao Fu's meaning. She hesitated before calling the boy out. The boy felt quite strange, but still went out to play. An hour later, the beautiful woman lay in Zhao Fu's embrace with a red face. Zhao Fu lightly smiled as he said, "You and your son can come with me. I'll agree to your request and do my best to nurture your son." The beautiful woman was called Huang Minmin, and her son was called Huang Ran. Huang Minmin said gratefully, "Thank you. I'll take good care of you in the future." Zhao Fu smiled and nodded. He did not have any resistance towards such a beautiful woman. After being affectionate for a while, Zhao Fu brought the mother and son back to the square and continued to search for another bronze shard. Chapter 2718. Book 1. Chapter 163. After returning to the square, Zhao Fu looked at the people waiting here and smiled as he said, "Apologies. Let's continue looking at the bronze shard." A simple and honest-looking middle-aged man smiled as he said, "It's all right, take a look at my bronze shard." Zhao Fu smiled as he took the shard and sensed for any reactions before letting the next person come up. A few days passed, and Zhao Fu did not find anything. The news had spread far and wide, and many people had come here with the bronze shards they had found. They wanted to see if the bronze shard was what Zhao Fu was looking for, and it seemed that the 1 billion gold coins were quite tempting. Zhao Fu thought to himself that if he did not find anything in 2 more days, he would have to leave. If there was a bronze shard, it would have been found, but since it had not been found, it meant that there was no bronze shard here. This was what Zhao Fu guessed, and he was not too sure. Another day passed, and Zhao Fu still did not find anything. Zhao Fu felt quite disappointed and decided to leave after 1 more day. He wanted to collect information on the people who had entered the historical remnant that year, especially those who were more powerful. That night, Zhao Fu was sleeping on his bed with Huang Minmin lying in his embrace. Because he had just obtained Huang Minmin, Zhao Fu doted on her a bit more. The other women were lying by his side. At that moment, a few people hid their auras and stealthily headed toward Zhao Fu's room. Before they even got close, Zhao Fu could sense them. The auras that they gave off were quite special, and they were not ordinary people. The few people arrived outside Zhao Fu's room. A feminine-looking man said, "Be careful and don't alarm him. We only want that shard." The others nodded. Zhao Fu felt quite surprised. He had thought that these people had come for his money, and he had never thought that they would come for the bronze shard. However, what do they want the bronze shard for? Could it be that they knew what the bronze shard was? The feminine-looking man took out more than 10 ladybugs, but they were grayish-white in color. They were very small, even smaller than a grain of rice. He placed these bugs at the door, and they entered the room through the crack in the door, flying towards Zhao Fu and the others on the bed. Painted skeletal eyebrows, blood-flying fish, Ericina, and the other women all sensed this and opened their eyes. Seeing that Zhao Fu had woken up, they relaxed and laid on the bed motionlessly. The insects flew in front of Zhao Fu, and Zhao Fu stretched out a hand, causing a wave of energy to cover the insects. These insects were sleeping bugs, and as long as they stayed on a person's body, they would cause that person to fall into a deep sleep. Because they were small and could hide, people would fall into a trap if they were not careful. The feminine-looking man outside listened to the body in the room and said in a low voice, "All right, let's go in." They slowly pushed open the door. At this moment, numerous blood-colored chains shot towards the few of them. The few of them were shocked and wanted to escape. But with their strength, how could they escape? The chains quickly bound a few of them, and Zhao Fu walked in front of them and asked, "Who are you?" The feminine-looking man did not reply. Zhao Fu frowned and said, "Even if you don't tell me, I'll know. However, you'll definitely die. So tell me who you are." Another young man next to him said with some fear, "Let's just tell them." The feminine-looking man thought about it and said, "We're from the ancient spirit clan." Zhao Fu's expression froze. He had heard of the ancient spirit clan before. The ancient spirit clan was formed from plants, insects, and beasts that had been affected by the historical remnant, and they called themselves the ancient spirit clan. The ancient spirit clan had disappeared from this place for a long time. So why had they reappeared? Their goal was the bronze shard on him. Zhao Fu stared at them and asked, "Do you know what the bronze shard is?" The feminine-looking man replied, "Of course. It's our clan's holy relic." A smile appeared on Zhao Fu's face as he asked, "Does the ancient spirit clan also have bronze shards?" The feminine-looking man replied, "Of course we do. Now show us the shard you have. If it really is our clan's holy relic, we're willing to pay any price for it." Although the ancient spirit clan had long since left this place, they had been paying attention to what had happened here. After learning that Zhao Fu had collected many shards and that he had obtained a very special kind of shard, the feminine-looking men thought that Zhao Fu had obtained a shard of their holy relic, so they had come to steal it. Zhao Fu said with a smile as he took out the bronze shard to see if the other shards in their hands were what Zhao Fu was looking for. "Is this what you're looking for?" The feminine-looking man said, "Let go of me." Zhao Fu loosened the chains that bound them, and the feminine-looking man carefully examined the bronze shard before making a cut on his finger and letting some of his blood essence slowly drip onto the shard. The blood dripped onto the shard and soaked it, causing it to slowly give off an extremely faint light. The feminine-looking man and the others looked pleasantly surprised. They had found their clan's holy relic. Zhao Fu was also quite surprised that these people could make the bronze shard react. This was the first time that Zhao Fu had seen someone else do this. The feminine-looking man said excitedly, "This is our clan's holy relic. Please give it to us. Any request is fine. If you want money, we're willing to buy it for 20 billion gold coins." Zhao Fu lightly laughed. "Do you think that's possible?" The feminine-looking man did not want to hand over the shard and continued to say, "This shard is of no use to you. Only our clan can use it. You might as well give it to us." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "Take me to where you're at, and I'll consider letting you go." Hearing that Zhao Fu did not plan on letting them off, everyone felt that things were not good. The feminine-looking man said, "Our ancient spirit clan already has a higher being expert. If you harm us, he won't let you off easily." Zhao Fu lightly laughed. Just a higher being? In actuality, the ancient spirit clan had developed quite quickly. Being able to produce a higher being after being affected by the historical remnant was already shocking enough. Ordinary clans and factions would not be able to do this even if they had many times the time. Apart from higher beings, there are also many Tao Realm, Spirit Realm, and Void Realm experts. It was a pity that they had encountered Zhao Fu. Before, Zhao Fu had been attacked by hundreds or even thousands of higher beings, so he did not care too much about this puny higher being. Hearing how arrogant Zhao Fu was, the feminine-looking man asked, "Who are you?" Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "Me? I'm the true owner of this bronze shard." Just as he finished speaking, Zhao Fu stretched out a hand, and the shard in the feminine-looking man's hand gave off an intense golden light. It broke free from the feminine-looking man's hand and flew into Zhao Fu's hand. The feminine-looking man and the others looked incredibly shocked. They had never thought that something like this would happen. Chapter 2719. Book 1. Zhao Fu asked in shock, "How did you do it?" The feminine-looking young man said in shock, "How did you do it?" Even though the ancient spirit clan could use a small portion of the bronze shard's power, they did not have the ability to control it, much less refine it and make it their own. However, this person had done it and made the bronze shard recognize him as its master. The feminine-looking young man and the others felt a massive impact on their hearts. It should have been their clan's holy artifact, but someone else could easily control it. They had never thought that something like this would happen. Zhao Fu lightly laughed as he said, I already said that I am the current owner of the bronze shard. Even though you've been affected by the historical remnant, and your bodies have developed a trace of the bronze shard's power, you cannot become its master. As such, your clan should hand the bronze shard over to me. The feminine-looking young man's expression became unsightly as he asked, Who are you? Zhao Fu smiled as he said, I'm someone you can't come into contact with. All right, enough with the nonsense. I need you to take me to your clan's territory. The feminine-looking young man said seriously, No, outsiders can enter our clan's territory. Also, the bronze shard is our clan's holy artifact. We definitely cannot hand it over to you. Zhao Fu's expression became cold as he said, Then don't blame me. Boom! A massive wave of blood-red aura flowed out of Zhao Fu's body, turning into blood-red tentacles that quickly shot towards the feminine-looking young man and the others. The feminine-looking young man and the others hurriedly ran out, but the tentacles were even faster. They shot into their bodies from their backs, and massive amounts of evil blood-red aura continuously entered their bodies. The feminine-looking young man and the others' expressions gradually became wooden as they stood there blankly. Right now, Zhao Fu was using the first evil immortal's power to control the feminine-looking young man and the others, planning to have them lead him to their clan's territory. Zhao Fu immediately wanted to head to the ancient spirit clan's territory, so he turned and said to Ericina, You stay here and wait for me. Ericina understood Zhao Fu's intentions and nodded. Zhao Fu controlled the cold-looking young man and left the tavern, following behind the feminine-looking young man and the others. Now, the feminine-looking young man and the others were like puppets, following Zhao Fu's orders. In another room in the Alliance City, a young man with a noble aura frowned and asked the person beside him, Where did my brother go? An old man next to him said, The second young master seems to have gone to fight for the bronze shard. I heard that someone in the city obtained a bronze shard. That bronze shard might be our clan's sacred relic. The noble-looking young man said, How could a holy relic be so easily obtained? Back then, our ancestors searched for many years but could not find another piece. There is no more holy relic here, so there's no need to waste time here. Let's ignore him and go back first. The old man nodded. Zhao Fu ran behind the feminine-looking young man and the others. He didn't know where their clan was, but he hoped that it wasn't too far away. A few hours later, 8 suns rose from the east, illuminating the world with their strong sunlight. Clang! A saber light containing great power slashed towards Zhao Fu from behind. Zhao Fu waved his hand and easily shattered the incoming saber light. His body also stopped as a group of people charged at him from behind. The noble-looking young man looked furious. What did you do to my brother? The noble-looking young man had thought that his brother was in the Alliance City, but on the way back he saw that they were being controlled like puppets. As such, he angrily rushed over with his people. Zhao Fu looked at the noble-looking young man and his people and smiled as he said, I didn't do anything to your brother. I just controlled him to go to where your clan is. The noble-looking young man said coldly, Now, let my brothers go. Zhao Fu smiled as he said, That's impossible. Unless you can use your clan's sacred relic to exchange for it, I can consider letting them go. The old man said, Eldest young master, this person should be the one who obtained the bronze shard. Now that he's asking about our clan's sacred relic, it's very likely that he has a real sacred relic. Also, this person is very powerful, so eldest young master, you have to be careful. The noble-looking young man nodded and looked at Zhao Fu. Hand over our clan's sacred relic and let my brothers go, and I can let this matter go. Zhao Fu could not help but lightly laugh as he said, Who gave you such confidence? The noble-looking young man's expression became cold, and just as he was about to give the order to attack Zhao Fu instantly disappeared and reappeared in front of him. Zhao Fu stretched out a hand and grabbed the noble-looking young man's throat, lifting him up. Everyone was greatly shocked and hurriedly tried to save the noble-looking young man. Boom! Zhao Fu exploded out with a massive power, sending everyone flying back, and an invincible aura spread out. Everyone looked at Zhao Fu in shock. How could this person be so powerful? The noble-looking young man's face became pale as he looked at Zhao Fu in terror. He vigorously struggled, wanting to break free from Zhao Fu's grasp, but he was unable to do so at all. He was like a little chick that had been lifted up. The old man hurriedly said, "Don't kill our young master." Zhao Fu turned to look at the old man and said, "Then give us your clan's sacred relic in exchange." The old man said awkwardly, "We can't do that. The sacred relic has always been placed in the ancestral shrine, and apart from the clan leader and some great elders, no one else can go there." Zhao Fu looked at the old man and asked, "How many bronze fragments do you have?" The old man replied, "3 in total." Zhao Fu grinned. He had found 3 in such a short time, and his progress had greatly improved. He had to go to the ancient spirit clan and obtain those 3 bronze fragments. Zhao Fu looked at the old man and said, "I want to know some information. If you answer me truthfully, I can spare your lives." The old man looked at his young master and nodded. "I can tell you." Zhao Fu asked, "What is your young master's identity?" The old man replied, "Our young master's name is Ling Ke, and he is the son of a great elder." So he was just the son of an elder? No wonder he was so weak. Zhao Fu said, "I heard that you have a clan leader. What children does your clan leader have?" The fragment was in the ancient spirit clan's ancestral shrine, and Zhao Fu wanted to obtain the most orthodox bloodline of the ancient spirit clan. With this bloodline, he should be able to enter the ancestral shrine and obtain the bronze fragment. The old man replied seriously, "Our clan leader has a son called Ling Xian, and he is the strongest genius in the history of the ancient spirit clan. Now that he has acknowledged a half-immortal as his master, he is also one of the top 10 geniuses in the primal chaos world." Zhao Fu was somewhat surprised. For Ling Xian to be one of the top 10 geniuses in the primal chaos world, his strength must be very terrifying. Moreover, for an ancient spirit clan to have such achievements, it was enough for him to be worshipped and respected by the entire ancient spirit clan. Hearing about Ling Xian's achievements, Zhao Fu was only a little surprised at first, but then he did not care anymore, as there was no way for him to obtain Ling Xian's essence blood. Now, Zhao Fu just wanted to obtain the bloodline to enter the ancestral shrine. As for the geniuses, with Zhao Fu's current strength and talent, he would not be afraid of any of them. Chapter 2720. Book 1, Chapter 165, translated by Hypersheep 325, edited by Mike. Here Zhao Fu looked at the elder and asked, "Do you have your chief's essence blood, or his relative's blood?" The elder had spoken in such detail because he wanted to use Ling Xian's reputation to make Zhao Fu feel fear and not dare to harm their young master. However, he felt that Zhao Fu did not care at all. Who was this person? How could he look down on such a terrifying person like the chief's son? He did not know that Zhao Fu was far more terrifying than the chief's son and was someone who could shake the world. The elder thought, "What do you want the essence blood for?" Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "You don't have to worry about it. Tell me, do you have it?" The elder replied, "Yes. As long as you let our young master go, I'll give you the essence blood." Zhao Fu grabbed the young man's throat, causing him to feel as if his throat was going to break. He struggled even more as Zhao Fu said, "You don't have the right to negotiate with me. Hurry up and hand over the essence blood." The elder hesitated and looked at the young man before taking out a bottle of blood and throwing it to Zhao Fu. "This is the chief's essence blood." Zhao Fu caught the bottle of blood and sensed its aura. The aura of this blood was much purer than the young man's bloodline aura. Even if it was not the chief's blood, it was most likely the great elder's blood. Zhao Fu accepted it in satisfaction. The elder asked, "Can you let our young master go now?" Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "There's one last question. If you can answer it, I won't kill everyone." The elder said, "Speak." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "Tell me the location of your clan." The elder could tell what Zhao Fu was trying to do. If he told this information to Zhao Fu, with Zhao Fu's terrifying power, it would cause many disasters, so the elder hesitated. Zhao Fu's gaze became cold. "You don't have to tell me. but I can use my own methods. The elder helplessly said, "Fine, I'll tell you. Our ancient spirit clan needs special medallions to enter the secret realm in the southeastern mountains." Hearing this, Zhao Fu nodded and asked for the medallions. He then used blood-red chains to bind those people and quickly flew towards the southeastern mountains. The people on the ground all had grim expressions. The old man said with a guilty expression, "Please punish me, eldest young master. I was the one who leaked important information." The noble youth sighed. "You can't be blamed for this. What I'm worried about now is what terrible things will happen if he enters our clan. This person can make the bronze shard recognize him as their master and can also use it. This person can make the bronze shard recognize him as its master, and he can even use the power of the bronze shard." The young man looked incredibly shocked and said, "Fu Ai Zhao and great." The elders said, "Saint and ancient Shen, ancient 2-1, ancient AO, and the clan 1 dynasty 1 by 1-1, A and Fu 1. The young man's expression was quite grim as he said, "That person is too terrifying. If he enters our clan, he'll definitely cause something terrifying." Elsewhere, Zhao Fu spent half a day and arrived at the foot of a large mountain. Zhao Fu first opened a blood bottle and drank the blood essence before refining it and obtaining this bloodline. Zhao Fu then took out the medallion and placed it on the ground. The medallion gave off an intense light, and the ground started to tremble as a stone door slowly rose up from the ground. This was the entrance to the ancient spirit clan's territory. Zhao Fu walked through the stone door and arrived at another world. The sky was light blue, white clouds were leisurely, and the grass was lush and green. There were winding streams and colorful butterflies dancing in the air. This world was quite beautiful, and it made one feel relaxed. Zhao Fu looked around and walked forwards. There was a higher being in the ancient spirit clan, and facing him, Zhao Fu could not fight back at all. As such, he had to be careful. Zhao Fu was not in a hurry to enter the ancestral shrine, and he first started to observe the surroundings. The ancestral shrine was located at the center of the city, and there was a wall separating the ancestral shrine from the people outside. There were also various restrictions and magic formations set up, and anyone who trespassed would be fiercely attacked. There were also people patrolling outside the ancestral shrine. Zhao Fu stood in the crowd, and his body gave off the aura of the ancient spirit clan. Although he was wearing a cloak, no one paid any attention to Zhao Fu. After observing, Zhao Fu found that it was easy to sneak into the ancestral shrine. Perhaps because no one had ever trespassed into the ancestral shrine before, the defenses were not very strict, and this person increased the possibility of Zhao Fu obtaining the bronze shard. Now that there were people outside, Zhao Fu decided to wait until nightfall to try again. "What are you sneaking around for?" Just as Zhao Fu was about to turn and leave, he heard a figure. He turned his head and saw a few young men and women, and the one who spoke was a beautiful young woman. Zhao Fu said with a smile, "Nothing much." The young woman asked, "Then who are you? How come I've never seen you before?" Zhao Fu said with a smile, "There are so many people coming and going here, so it's natural that you don't know me." A chubby young man next to him said, "You don't know, but our big sister is very powerful and is very familiar with everyone's aura. If she says she hasn't seen you before, then she has." Another lively young woman looked at Zhao Fu with her big eyes and asked curiously, "You're not someone who trespassed into our world, are you?" Zhao Fu was startled. If his identity was exposed in the city now, it would be very dangerous. At this moment, the beautiful young woman said, "He's not someone who trespassed. Although his aura is very strange, the bloodline aura he gives off is the aura of our ancient spirit clan." Zhao Fu let out a sigh of relief and said with a smile, "I rarely come out, so it's normal that you haven't seen me before." The beautiful young woman looked at Zhao Fu and said, "Tell me, what are you sneaking around for?" Zhao Fu was speechless and replied, "I'm just looking around. How is that sneaking around? Also, don't bother me, or else I'll teach you a lesson." The chubby young man cried out in surprise, "You still have the guts to teach us a lesson?" Do you know who our big sister is? She's the precious daughter of our spirit elder. Zhao Fu's heart sank, and he felt that he was in trouble. The spirit elder was the almighty expert of the ancient spirit clan. The beautiful young woman stared at Zhao Fu. You're really suspicious. Zhao Fu didn't want to continue with them and walked to the side. I'm leaving. I don't have time to talk with you kids. Hearing this, the young men and women became a bit angry. The lively young woman shouted angrily, Stop, otherwise I'll call for help. Zhao Fu stopped, feeling a headache. What do you want? Are you bored and looking for trouble with me? The chubby young man nodded blankly. We are very bored. We can't find anything to play with, and we don't know what to do. Zhao Fu sighed. I'll give you some things from the outside world. Don't look for trouble with me. With that, Zhao Fu waved his hand, and a pile of things flew out. The young men and women's attention was quickly attracted by it, as they had never gone out since they were young, and were very curious about the things of the outside world. Top. Chapter 27-21. Book 1. Chapter 166. Seeing that the young men and women's gazes were attracted, Zhao Fu threw the things to them and turned to walk away. The young men and women happily caught the things, and the elegant young woman looked at Zhao Fu as he left. She wanted to call out to Zhao Fu, as she felt that Zhao Fu was quite suspicious. The chubby young man next to her handed a large piece of fruit candy to the elegant young woman and smiled as he said, Big sis, try this. It's super delicious. Hearing this, the elegant young woman withdrew her gaze and took the fruit candy. A while later, the young men and women returned home with the things, and the elegant young woman returned to her courtyard. An elegant woman with a voluptuous figure smiled as she said, How did you bring back so many things? She was the ancient spirit clan's spirit elder, the most powerful person in the ancient spirit clan. She was called Ling Wan, and her daughter was called Ling Luo. Ling Luo replied, A strange person gave them to us. Ling Wan laughed and did not pay too much mind. After all, ancient spirit people would go out on missions and bring back things from the outside world. She said, Mom prepared a few sets of clothes for you. Try them on and see if you like them. Ling Luo smiled and nodded. Zhao Fu waited until late at night. By now, there was no one around the ancestral shrine, and it was quite empty. Zhao Fu stealthily went to the ancestral shrine. There was a group of soldiers standing guard at the entrance of the ancestral shrine. Zhao Fu stretched out his hand, and a blood-red aura rose up, forming rice grain-sized insects. He waved his hand, and the insects quickly flew towards the guards without making any sound or ripples. The insects flew onto the guards' bodies, and the guards were caught off guard. The insects directly drilled into their bodies, and a wave of blood-red aura spread through their bodies, entering their brains. Zhao Fu immediately took control of the guards. Zhao Fu gave a trace of a smile and walked out from the side, openly walking towards the ancestral shrine. There was a powerful bloodline restriction on the door, and only those with high-grade ancient spirit race bloodlines could enter. Zhao Fu stretched out his hand and placed it on the door, but the restriction did not react at all. Zhao Fu looked at Zhao Fu and saw that there was no reaction from the restriction. Zhao Fu smiled as he pushed open the doors and walked in. The inside was quite big, and it was thousands of meters long and wide. The ground was made of stone bricks, and there was only a single building at the center. That was most likely where the bronze shards were stored, and there were 3 of them. Zhao Fu suppressed his excitement and stepped forwards. Zhao Fu's surroundings quickly changed, and he soon arrived at a wilderness. There were tall trees, weeds, and many wild beasts. Roar! Zhao Fu did not move, and, as the leopard bit at him, his palm gave off blood-red light, and he stabbed out the leopard and it Zhao Fu, and it pierced through the leopard's body. Zhao Fu stood there without moving. The instant the leopard bit at him, his palm shined with a blood-red light, and he stabbed out, piercing through the leopard's body. The leopard howled in pain and turned into countless strands of red aura that dissipated. Glancing around, Zhao Fu realized that he had come to a realm that belonged to the ancient spirits, whose purpose was to protect the ancestral shrine. Roar! wild beasts roared, including massive rats, long centipedes, ox-like beasts, and rhinoceros-like beasts. They gave off immense power as they started to attack Zhao Fu. Many wild beasts pounced on Zhao Fu, but Zhao Fu just stood there and smiled. He did not look afraid at all. Swish, swish, swish. Countless blood-red rays of light shot out like countless thorns, piercing through the bodies of the many beasts that pounced over. Some of the beasts were frozen in the air, while others were frozen on the ground. They revealed expressions of pain, and the scene seemed to pause for a moment. It was extremely bloody and cruel. The wild beasts turned into countless strands of aura and dissipated, and the surroundings became peaceful once again. Zhao Fu had dealt with all of the wild beasts in an instant. Zhao Fu looked at this domain, and Zhao Fu was currently looking for domains to devour to strengthen his evil celestial domain so that his bloodline could break through to the 5th stage. This ancient spirit domain was not weak, and it was a domain that relied on the primal chaos world's weak source energy to cover it. It satisfied Zhao Fu's requirements. Standing there, Zhao Fu gave off waves of evil celestial power. Waves of blood-red light spread out from beneath Zhao Fu's feet, and the wild world gradually became blood-red. Roar, roar, roar. Sensing danger, the domain instinctively started to resist. Wild beasts gave off powerful auras as they flooded towards Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu did not move and smiled as he looked at the wild beasts. The blood-red light that spread out formed many blood-red thorns that pierced through the incoming wild beasts. This was a one-sided massacre, and the wild beasts were unable to resist at all. The wild beasts did not feel any fear, and they gave off massive auras as they continuously leapt at Zhao Fu. However, in the end, they were still slaughtered by Zhao Fu like ants. Perhaps the domain knew that it was unable to stop Zhao Fu from devouring, so it started to gather all of the domain's power, forming a 1,000-meter-tall figure of white light that gave off a massive aura, making it difficult for people to breathe. The figure of white light furiously looked at Zhao Fu and raised a foot, giving off earth-shattering power as it stepped towards Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu did not move, and just as the massive foot was about to step on Zhao Fu's body gave off an intense blood-red light, forming a massive blood-red thorn that pierced through the foot. The figure of white light gave off a massive howl, shaking the sky. The figure of white light wanted to pull the foot out, but Zhao Fu gave a condescending smile. The blood-red thorn turned into a blood-red vine that wrapped around the foot, and an even more powerful blood-red light came out of Zhao Fu's body, corroding the figure of white light's body. The figure of white light's foot started to become blood-red. As long as he could corrode this figure of white light, Zhao Fu would be able to devour the ancient spirit domain. The figure of white light panically tried to pull its foot out, but after finding that it could not, it squatted down and slammed its hand towards Zhao Fu, bringing with it an intense wind. Zhao Fu continued to stand there, and the countless traces of blood-red light once again condensed into a blood-red thorn, piercing through the figure of white light's hand and turning into a blood-red vine that wrapped around the figure of white light's hand. The figure of white light howled as it lost its balance and fell to the ground, causing the ground to tremble and dust to fill the air. Zhao Fu smiled as he looked at the figure of white light on the ground. Countless rays of light shot out from all directions, forming blood-red thorns that stabbed into the figure of white light's body, turning into blood-red vines that wrapped around the figure of white light. The figure of white light howled in pain and vigorously struggled, but it was unable to break free. Zhao Fu smiled as he stretched out a hand, and massive amounts of blood energy entered the figure of white light's body through the blood-red vines, causing the figure of white light's body to gradually become blood-red. As its body became blood-red, the entire world seemed to be dyed blood-red. Chapter 27-22. Book 1, Chapter 167. In the end, the light figure was completely corroded and turned into a blood-colored light figure. Zhao Fu had successfully corroded this domain and turned it into his own. With a wave of his hand, The surroundings rapidly shrank and merged into Zhao Fu's body like a tide. In the next second, Zhao Fu returned to the ancestral shrine. Zhao Fu was about to step forward. Sensing the disappearance of the ancient spirit domain, Ling Wan frowned. Her body turned into a streak of light and shot toward the ancestral shrine. Not only her, but the other higher-ups also sensed the changes and quickly flew over. Zhao Fu also instantly felt a strong sense of danger. Without any hesitation, he immediately left the ancestral shrine. Ling Wan was the first to arrive at the ancestral shrine. Seeing that it was empty, a strange expression appeared on her face. Then, a cold-looking middle-aged man also arrived. He was the patriarch of the ancient spirit clan, Ling Kong. Ling Kong bowed to Ling Wan and asked doubtfully, "Venerable Ling, what happened here? Why did the ancient spirit domain disappear?" Ling Wan said, "I don't know either. It seems that something devoured the ancient spirit domain we set up here." Ling Kong was a little surprised. This ancient spirit domain is something we use to test our clansmen. It has no other use. How could it be devoured? Ling Wan said with a serious face, "No matter what it is, it must have a purpose for sneaking into our ancestral shrine. Immediately send people to search the city and find that thing." Ling Kong nodded. Ling Wan flew into the ancestral shrine. There was a wooden platform with memorial tablets on it. 3 bronze fragments were floating above the tablets. Although these bronze fragments were as simple and rusty as the others, they emitted a faint golden light. This was something the other fragments didn't have. When the ancient spirit clan had obtained these 3 bronze fragments, they had nourished them with their own power every day. Because they were of the same kind as the bronze fragments, although their power was extremely weak, it still affected the bronze fragments. The 3 bronze fragments had been nourished by the ancient spirit clan for countless years and had recovered a little. The ancient spirit clan had also increased their strength by a lot. Ling Xian, a peerless genius of the ancient spirit clan, had been nourished by the 3 bronze fragments since he was a fetus. That was why he had such amazing potential. In addition to worshipping the ancestors and nourishing the bronze fragments, one could also obtain the legacies of the ancient spirit clan. What did that thing come for? There were only 2 possibilities. One was the bronze fragment, and the other was the legacies of the ancient spirits. Ordinary people wouldn't be able to use the first kind of bronze fragment since they wouldn't be able to use it at all. Ancient spirits would only be able to use a small part of it. That person had come for the legacy of the ancient spirits? That was possible. Those who entered the ancestral shrine had to be ancient spirits. He wondered which ancient spirit was trying to steal the legacies of the ancient spirits. Ling Kong walked in from outside and said, "I didn't find anything." The guards at the door were controlled by a power. After the power was removed, they didn't suffer any damage. Spirit Cuckoo said in a grim voice, "It might be an ancient spirit's doing." A hint of anger appeared on Ling Kong's face. "I'll go and investigate immediately. Let's see who dares to be so bold." Ling Wan nodded softly. The next day, everyone found out that someone had snuck into the ancestral shrine. They discussed it and guessed who it was. Ling Luo could not help but think of Zhao Fu. She immediately felt that Zhao Fu was extremely suspicious, so she went to look for her mother. "Mother, I might know who that person is." Ling Wan smiled in surprise as she asked, "How do you know?" Ling Luo said, "Those things that I brought back yesterday were given to me by that person. Back then, I saw him sneakily standing in a corner, looking at the ancestral shrine." Ling Wan asked, "What did that person look like?" Ling Luo shook her head. "I'm not sure. That person was wearing a cloak, but the bloodline aura he gave off was very pure." Ling Wan thought to herself that it was indeed the doing of someone from her clan. She heaved a sigh of relief. If it was an outsider who barged in under her eyes, it would be a very troublesome matter. Since it was someone from her clan, it would be much simpler. What they did not know was that Zhao Fu was an outsider and not someone from the ancient spirit clan. Zhao Fu had long since escaped outside the city to hide, and it was incredibly difficult to steal things from a higher being. Just a small ripple would attract her attention. Luckily, he had the celestial concealment token to hide his aura, or else Zhao Fu would have been instantly found. Zhao Fu did not go into the city, and he knew that many people were looking for him. The situation had become quite dangerous, but Zhao Fu definitely would not give up on those 3 bronze shards. After waiting outside for a while, Zhao Fu once again stealthily snuck into the city. Ling Kong captured many people for Ling Luo and the others to confirm, but it was a pity that not a single one of them was Zhao Fu. Ling Kong continued to order people to capture those suspicious people, causing the people within the city to feel uneasy. Everyone was worried that they would be implicated. Zhao Fu came near the ancestral shrine and found that its defenses had been strengthened and there were many restrictions around it. Wanting to enter again would be many times more difficult than before. What should he do now? Just as Zhao Fu was thinking to himself, he saw Ling Luo and her friends walk out, and Zhao Fu gave a trace of a despicable smile. Roar! A massive dragon's roar sounded out as a blood-red dragon formed from many insect beasts appeared in the sky. It looked incredibly terrifying and gave off a massive dragon's might. Ling Wan and Ling Kong immediately led their people out and looked at the blood-red dragon in the sky. Everyone could sense that the blood-red dragon only had Emperor Heaven Realm power and looked slightly condescending. Everyone present could easily deal with this blood-red dragon. Ling Wan coldly asked, "Who are you?" The blood-red dragon was formed from the black dragon's corpse that Zhao Fu had killed before and the corpses of many insect beasts. It had a portion of Zhao Fu's power and could be considered a clone of Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu said, "Hand over your holy item, and I can spare your daughter and the others." Ling Wan felt quite surprised. It turned out that this person's target was not the ancient spirit race's legacy, but the ancient spirit race's holy item. However, hearing what Zhao Fu said next, Ling Wan looked furious. She sensed around the city and found that her daughter and her friends had disappeared. Ling Wan said furiously, "Where did you take my daughter?" Everyone else's expressions fell. They had never thought that Zhao Fu would really be able to capture Ling Wan's daughter and that they had not collected anything. This meant that this person's power was incredibly terrifying, and they no longer looked down on him. Zhao Fu said, "I already said that as long as you hand over your race's holy item, I'll release them. They're fine, so you don't have to worry." Ling Wan could tell that this was not the blood-red dragon's true body and said coldly, "I already know that you're from the race. There's no need to hide your identity. Do you know what you're doing? Immediately confess and release my daughter, or else no matter who you are, I'll kill you." Apex. Chapter 27-23. Book 1. Chapter 168. Ancient Spirit. Hearing that Ling Wan had mistaken him for an ancient spirit, Zhao Fu decided to pretend to be an ancient spirit and loudly laughed as he said, "Spirit Sovereign, you won't be able to discover me. Hurry up and hand over the 3 bronze shards, or else your precious daughter will die." Ling Wan coldly harumphed, "I need to see my daughter first." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "All right, come with me." The blood-red dragon that Zhao Fu had turned into gave off a massive aura as it flew in a certain direction. Ling Wan thought about it and also flew in that direction. After they left, a 10-meter-long, thigh-thick, blood-red earthworm with a mouth full of teeth crawled out from beneath the ancestral shrine. The soldiers guarding the ancestral shrine were greatly startled and quickly rushed towards the blood-red earthworm with their weapons. This blood-red earthworm was Zhao Fu's clone, and looking at the soldiers, it gave a condescending smile. It opened its mouth and spat out a yellow, mud-like substance that stuck to the soldiers. The soldiers struggled but were unable to break free, and it was as if they had been glued to the ground. Most of the experts in the city had been lured away by the blood-red dragon, and these soldiers could not stop Zhao Fu at all. Zhao Fu quickly rushed towards the ancestral shrine, wanting to obtain the bronze shards as quickly as possible. However, just as Zhao Fu was about to reach the door, a figure appeared. It was Ling Wan. Looking at the blood-red earthworm, Ling Wan stretched out a hand and pushed forwards, and a massive force sent Zhao Fu's blood-red earthworm flying. Ling Wan coldly laughed as she said, "Do you think I don't know what you want?" Zhao Fu looked at Ling Wan seriously. This was not Ling Wan's main body, but a clone. However, it was incredibly powerful, and he was not a match for it with his current strength. Zhao Fu said, "Could it be that you don't care about your daughter's safety anymore? Even though I don't want to harm your daughter, don't force me." Ling Wan snorted, "If anything happens to my daughter, you won't have a good ending either." After Ling Wan finished speaking, she gave off a powerful force as she rushed towards the blood-red earthworm that Zhao Fu was controlling. She was incredibly fast and arrived beside Zhao Fu. She sent Zhao Fu flying with a palm strike, crashing into the walls of the ancestral shrine, causing a few cracks to appear on the walls. Zhao Fu crawled up from the ground and roared loudly. Numerous blood-colored insects drilled out from the ground. Some looked like spiders, some looked like ants, some looked like centipedes, and some looked like cockroaches. The blood-red insect beasts looked at the spirit cuckoo coldly and cruelly, giving off a crazed, evil, twisted, and perverted aura that could cause one's hairs to stand on end. Ling Wan asked coldly, "Who exactly are you in the clan?" He actually cultivated such an evil power. Zhao Fu snorted. "Don't even think about it. I won't tell you." Boom! The blood-red insect beasts gave off blood-red light as they quickly rushed towards the spirit cuckoo like a tidal wave, giving off a shocking aura. However, the spirit cuckoo did not feel any fear and continuously sent out palm strikes, sending the incoming insect beasts flying. Soon, there were different kinds of insect beasts lying on the ground, unable to harm the spirit cuckoo at all. Zhao Fu understood this, so he roared and the insect beasts on the ground turned into blood-red water before moving and forming a blood-red magic formation. The spirit cuckoo's expression fell. Boom! A massive explosion sounded out as countless powers from the surroundings entered the magic formation, causing it to give off an intense blood-red light that shot towards the spirit cuckoo within. The terrifying power of the first evil immortal started to corrode the spirit cuckoo's body, and the spirit cuckoo used a defensive barrier to defend. This could only stall for time and could not trap the spirit cuckoo's clone for long. A blood-red, gecko-like blood beast drilled out from the ground and quickly crawled towards the ancestral shrine, wanting to seize this opportunity to obtain the 3 shards. Bang! A muffled explosion sounded out as the ancestral shrine gave off a massive power, sending the blood-red gecko that Zhao Fu controlled flying away. Zhao Fu frowned. The ancestral shrine still had powerful defenses. On the other side, Ling Kong frowned as he looked at the blood dragon and said, "Spirit Sovereign, this person is intentionally luring us away. His target is still the ancestral shrine. Let's hurry back." The spirit cuckoo said coldly, "Don't be in such a hurry. I know his goal. There are still my clones within the ancestral shrine, and my ancient spirit ancestors' power protecting it. It won't be so easy for him to enter. We must use this opportunity to capture him." On the ground of the ancestral shrine, the spirit cuckoo's clones stamped on the ground, and a white wave of light containing immense power spread out, causing the ground to crack. The blood-red magic formation was also destroyed by the white wave of light and turned into a blood-red aura that dissipated and disappeared. The spirit cuckoo coldly laughed as he said, "It's impossible for you to obtain those 3 bronze shards. Also, I'm quite curious as to why you want those 3 bronze shards. Even if you obtain them and can't use them, what's your goal?" Zhao Fu retorted as he laughed and said, "Who said I can't use them? The reason I can't use them is because you're useless and don't have the right to use them. They also belong to you." The spirit cuckoo became serious. Hearing from Zhao Fu's tone, she understood that Zhao Fu had definitely found a way to use the 3 bronze shards. Their clan had been nourished for so many years and had only obtained a bit of the bronze shard's power, so they had obtained some benefits. If they could truly use the bronze shards, they would be able to bring great benefits to the ancient spirit clan. The ancient spirit clan would be able to rise up and become one of the most noble clans in the primal chaos world. The spirit cuckoo asked, What method did you find to use the 3 shards? Zhao Fu said mockingly. I already said that you don't have the right to use them. It's not like you have a method. The spirit cuckoo said coldly. You're from the ancient spirit clan. How can you use them? Hand over the method, and I won't pursue this matter. I'll even give you some benefits. How about it? Zhao Fu loudly laughed and said, Don't even think about it. That's impossible. Boom! Zhao Fu's blood-red earthworm clone gave off a massive power, and its body continuously grew bigger. Soon, it was more than 100 meters long. Chi! The blood-red earthworm opened its mouth and spat out a large amount of yellow liquid towards the spirit cuckoo. The spirit cuckoo nimbly dodged Zhao Fu's attack and arrived in front of Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu opened its massive mouth and bit towards the spirit cuckoo. The spirit cuckoo slapped out with its palm, sending out a powerful palm force against Zhao Fu's head, causing Zhao Fu's head to tilt backwards. A sharp mouth instantly grew out of Zhao Fu's tail, and it ferociously bit towards the spirit cuckoo, looking like it wanted to devour the spirit cuckoo. The spirit cuckoo stomped down with one foot, and a massive force caused Zhao Fu's tail to fall to the ground, causing a large crater to appear on the ground. Zhao Fu's blood-red earthworm was heavily injured and coughed up a mouthful of blood. Soon, Zhao Fu's body started to melt, and blood-red arms stretched out from the melting body and madly grabbed towards the spirit cuckoo's body. Apex. Chapter 27-24. Book 1. Zhao Fulingwan's expression fell, and she immediately used her defensive barrier to block the incoming arms. The arms continuously slammed against the defensive barrier, and even though they could not break through Ling Wan's defenses, the crazed and perverse aura caused Ling Wan to feel a trace of coldness. Now that Zhao Fu had unleashed his full power as the #1 evil celestial, that crazed and perverse aura was incredibly intense and pure. A wave of blood-red energy covered Ling Wan and started to corrode her defensive barrier. Ling Wan also started to use her true power, and countless traces of white light shone out from her body, forming a 100-meter-tall figure of light. This figure of light looked exactly like Ling Wan and gave off an extremely powerful aura. After the figure of light appeared, it punched out with massive power against the blood-red earthworm's body, sending it crashing to the ground. A massive explosion sounded out as the ground cracked, and countless rocks flew into the air. After knocking down Zhao Fu's earthworm clone, the figure of light raised its fist and punched toward Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu's earthworm clone furiously swatted and bit towards the figure of light. Bang! A massive explosion sounded out as the blood-red earthworm's head was blasted apart by the punch, causing countless traces of blood and flesh to fly everywhere. Swish, swish, swish! In the next moment, the headless blood-red earthworm grew countless heads and ferociously bit towards the figure of light, biting at different parts of the figure of light's body. The figure of light looked furious and continuously punched the blood-red earthworm's body, causing its body to turn to mush. However, the blood-red earthworm did not let go and continued to savagely bite the figure of light. Standing on the hill, Zhao Fu looked at the city in front of him and understood that it would be quite difficult to obtain the 3 bronze shards. Now, there was only one method left. He could use the 7 bronze shards within his body to draw out the 3 bronze shards from the ancestral temple and have them come out. The 3 bronze shards were different from the other bronze shards. After being nourished for so many years, they had recovered some of their power, and it was possible to draw them out. Of course, it could also fail. Zhao Fu planned to give it one last try. If it didn't work, then he could only wait for a few days and think of other ways. Zhao Fu squatted down, and a wave of chaos essence power surged out. A golden magic formation appeared on the ground, and 7 bronze shards appeared from the void, floating around Zhao Fu's body. Zhao Fu pressed his hand on the ground. The 3 bronze fragments floating above the tablets in the ancestral hall sensed the pure origin energy and began to tremble. Boom! A great boom rang out as the three shards shone with golden light. A huge beam of light shot into the sky, seeming to shatter the sky. A huge golden pillar of light was formed, and vast amounts of origin energy flowed out like a flood. The Spirit One doppelganger stopped, looking at the huge golden pillar of light behind him in shock. Countless people in the city stared at the golden pillar of light in shock. They could sense the powerful and pure origin energy, and they felt like their bodies had been locked up, unable to move at all. Their souls were greatly shaken. In the distance, the Spirit One doppelganger and the others also looked at the golden pillar of light in shock. Spirit One hurriedly said, "Something's wrong. Let's hurry back." Everyone responded and quickly flew towards the city. Swish, swish, swish! The three bronze shards turned into three golden rays of light and shot out of the ancestral temple, leaving behind three golden trails. Spirit One wanted to stop them, but the three shards were extremely fast. Before she could do anything, the three shards had already flown far away and were flying toward Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu, who was squatting on the hill, smiled when he saw the three golden rays of light shooting towards him. The three bronze shards stopped in front of Zhao Fu and intimately gave off a faint golden light, as if they had met their owner. Zhao Fu smiled as he put the three bronze shards away and quickly flew in a certain direction. Now that he had obtained the shards, he had to escape as quickly as possible. Otherwise, when the Spirit One doppelganger returned, it would be very difficult to escape. Spirit One and the others stopped above the ancestral temple and found that the three shards had disappeared. Spirit Kong's expression was unsightly as he said, "How could our clan's sacred relic fly away by itself?" The others' expressions were also unsightly. The sacred relic that they had been nourishing had been lost. They were also very shocked that the sacred relic would fly away by itself. Something that should have been impossible had actually happened. Spirit One said in a low voice, "This person's background is extremely terrifying. He shouldn't be someone from our clan. With our clan's power, we don't have the ability to make the bronze shards act like this. Perhaps it's as he said. He's the true owner of the bronze shards." Spirit Kong said, "The bronze shards contain the primal chaos world's source energy. Back then, our ancestors were nourished by the relic's source energy, which gave birth to self-awareness. Our ancestors understood how important this matter was, so they chose to live in the secret realm and hide their identities. If he's the owner of the bronze shards and can control them as he pleases, then only someone from the primal chaos world's origin race can do that. However, the origin race has disappeared for countless years. It's impossible for them to appear here." Spirit One said, "No. You should have heard about the primal chaos child's reappearance. That primal chaos child is also collecting the bronze shards." Everyone's faces were filled with shock, and their eyes were wide open. Their hearts were beating violently, and they could not stop. Spirit Kong said with a trembling voice, "You're saying that person is the primal chaos child?" Spirit One nodded seriously. "Apart from him, I can't think of anyone else with such an ability." Spirit Kong continued to ask, "Then what should we do?" Spirit One sighed. "Let's not bother about it. Our race cannot afford to offend an existence of that level. Moreover, the bronze shards originally belonged to their race, and the three shards have been in our hands for so many years, but we've only been able to use a little of their power. However, he can easily use them. He's the true owner of the shards." Everyone sighed. The three shards were their race's sacred items, and losing them would be a great loss to the ancient spirit race. Although they were unwilling, there was nothing they could do. They had originally belonged to someone else. Most importantly, their race could not afford to offend that person. Even though their race had a higher being, they were like ants that could be easily crushed to death against the origin race, which had been born alongside the world. At that moment, a blood-red worm crawled out from the side, and a few unconscious youths lay on it. They were Ling Luo and the others. Zhao Fu had not wanted to harm them, and he had sent them out to ease the tension between the two sides. Most importantly, he had wanted to let Zhao Fu escape. Seeing that her daughter was fine, Spirit One inwardly let out a sigh of relief and waved her hand to wake the youths up. Ling Luo and the others looked confused, not knowing what had happened. Chapter 27-25. Book 1. 170th Heaven Awakened World. Jianyin's group had gathered together. There were Long Yang, Xiong Xiao, Bing Qixue, Yi Yueqian, Mo Li, and other people that Zhao Fu was familiar with. They were all people who had attacked Qin before. Long Yang called out, "I don't know what's going on. After waiting for so long, they still haven't gathered their soldiers to attack that despicable Qin. Just looking at Qin makes me feel quite annoyed." Bing Qixue calmly said, "I don't know what method Qin used to summon countless insects. If we don't deal with this, the various large factions will not be able to attack Qin, as they will have to pay massive losses." Jianin said, "I called you all here for this matter. Right now, Qin is the scourge of the ancient stem domain and has caused the entire ancient stem domain to fall into chaos. We have to act on behalf of the heavens and get rid of him." Emoli evilly laughed as she said, "I also want to get rid of Qin as soon as possible. I've been thinking about Qin's harem for a long time, and I even dream about it now." Gu Qingwei looked at Emoli in disgust and did not say anything. Bing Qixue said, "We can't do anything. The higher-ups are trying to think of a way, and they're allying with other royal kingdom factions to destroy Qin. However, the other royal kingdoms don't want to get involved, or else they might just destroy Qin." Jian Yin coldly said, "Those factions will regret this sooner or later. Even if Qin doesn't destroy them, the ancient sword sect will destroy them." Hearing this, everyone became wary. The ancient sword sect was quite powerful, and without the Dao cultivation sect suppressing them, it was possible that they would make a move against them after destroying Qin. It seemed that they not only had to be careful of Qin, but also the ancient sword sect. It would be best if they could use the two factions to exhaust each other, and after they were heavily injured, they would destroy the ancient sword sect and Qin. Jianin did not know that he had said something wrong. "I'll give you some information. In actuality, the ancient sword sect invited 10 or so insect masters from the heaven domain, and they are proficient in dealing with insects. After a while, they will find a way to deal with insects, so you can go and prepare." Xiong Xiao smiled as she said, "When did the ancient sword sect invite insect masters? We didn't even know about it. But it's best if we can get rid of the insect beasts and kill Qin." Jianin smiled as he said, "I'm telling you this because I trust you. I hope that you won't disappoint me in the future and help me become a #1 person in the ancient stem domain." Now that the Dao cultivation sect had closed its doors, Zhao Fu had barely become the #1 genius of the ancient stem domain. He was much weaker than the previous #1, but he was still #1. He wanted everyone's support to become the #1 person in the ancient stem domain so that he could take over the ancient sword sect's position in the future. The people sitting here were the inheritors of the various powers, and obtaining their help would be of great help. Everyone smiled and nodded, thinking to themselves, this fellow not only wants to be the #1 person in the ancient stem domain, but he also wants to be the ancient sword sect's sect master. It's just that there isn't anyone more outstanding than Jianin. Once there is someone more outstanding than Jianin, Jianin will definitely be eliminated. Jianin looked at everyone and nodded as he smiled and said, "That's all for now. Now, let me properly entertain everyone." Following this, Jianin brought everyone to a large hall where a banquet had already been prepared. There were many beautiful women dancing and musicians playing music. In the alchemy world, the Golden Claw family's higher-ups were gathered together with serious expressions. They had some conflict with Qin before, and their chief Jintai had been captured by Zhao Fu. Their faction was on the level of a royal kingdom. It was one of the most powerful factions in the surrounding area. A well-built man said, "Qin has developed too quickly in the alchemy world, and his territory has expanded to near us. We will definitely have to fight with Qin." An elderly man with half a face made of metal said, "We naturally know that, But the key is that Great Qin is too mysterious and powerful. We might not be able to destroy it, or else we would have destroyed it long ago instead of waiting until now. A scholarly-looking middle-aged man said in a low voice, "That's right. Qin is too powerful, and it's not suitable for us to fight with him. We need to find an opportunity to act." A woman with a mechanical arm said, "We'll also contact the other families. I'm sure none of the families want to see a Heaven Awakened World faction run amok in the alchemy world. If they join us, we won't have to fear Qin at all." The elders said, "I've already sent people to do this, and they're still hesitating. They'll only give us an answer after some time." The woman with the mechanical arms said, "It's good that they haven't refused. I'm sure that when the right opportunity comes, they'll join us and destroy that cancer, Qin, together." Everyone else nodded. In the alchemy world, Qin's base, Wang Jian gathered everyone and said, "Slow down the expansion in the surroundings to avoid clashing with the large families." Everyone nodded in understanding. These large families were all royal kingdoms, and if they continued to expand, there would definitely be battles. Right now, Qin did not want to fight with them, not because Qin was afraid of them, but because they would tie down a lot of Qin's forces. Right now, Qin was in a very delicate situation. Qin was under great pressure in the Heaven Awakened world, and he had to face attacks from many royal kingdoms. In the card world, he had to face the Dragon Kingdom. If a war broke out in the card world, Qin would be fighting on multiple sides, which would be quite disadvantageous to Qin. It could be said that neither side wanted to fight in the card world, and they were both waiting for a suitable opportunity. Roar! A massive roar sounded out, rippling out like a corporeal sound wave. Wang Jian and the others were given a big fright by this sudden roar. Wang Jian ordered people to go and see what was going on. In the forest, a monster that was 1,000 meters tall, with a humanoid body and a muscular body, 6 blood-red eyes, a mouth full of sharp teeth, and a pair of claws roared at the sky. He was the ancient weapon grandmaster. Ever since Zhao Fu had been satisfied with the ancient weapon god, he had given people all sorts of resources to nurture it. Qin had given 10 or so alchemy hearts to devour, which were all obtained by Qin from killing extremely powerful gold-cultivated beasts. The ancient weapon grandmaster's body bulged and continuously grew, and an even more powerful aura exploded out from his body, causing the surroundings to fall into silence. Finally, the ancient weapon grandmaster's body grew to 10,000 meters tall, and when standing on the ground, one would not be able to see his head. His body was incredibly powerful, and his 6 eyes gave off a blood-red light, making them look like 6 blood-red suns, giving off a terrifying aura. The ancient weapon grandmaster did not change much, and he looked the same as before. However, there were some black inscriptions on his back. He had most likely obtained some sort of ability. Chapter 27-26. Book I. Chapter 171. Wang Jian and the other generals arrived, and when they saw the terrifying ancient weapon grandmaster, expressions of shock appeared on their faces. They had not expected the ancient weapon grandmaster to undergo such a huge transformation. The 6 blood-red eyes of the ancient weapon grandmaster glanced at Wang Jian and the others. His ferocious nature was revealed uncontrollably. The terrifying aura he emitted made everyone feel as though they had fallen into a pool of ice water. Their bodies could not help but tremble as an intense fear surged in their hearts. Wang Jian's expression changed. He could sense that the ancient armament god was hostile towards them, and he was about to give the order to suppress it. Given the ancient weapon grandmaster's savage nature, he indeed wanted to act against Wang Jian and the others. He wanted to destroy everything in the surroundings and slaughter all living beings. However, at the next moment, a strand of power seeped out from his mind, and the ancient weapon grandmaster felt as if he had fallen into an abyss. He felt extreme terror. At this moment, the ancient weapon grandmaster regained his senses. He knew that he had a master that was 10,000 times more terrifying than him. Thinking of that master, the ancient weapon grandmaster immediately calmed down, feeling a lingering fear. If he had really made a move on Wang Jian and the others, he would have to endure endless pain and would not be able to die even if he wanted to. Seeing that the ancient weapon grandmaster had returned to normal, Wang Jian heaved a sigh of relief. If the ancient weapon grandmaster had gone berserk, it would have caused a lot of trouble for Qin. He might even have to use the war god's fury to suppress it. After the ancient weapon grandmaster returned to normal, he looked at the other ancient weapon gods around him and once again let out a deafening roar. The heavens and earth immediately began to change as boundless alchemy power gathered in the sky like a tide, forming multicolored clouds that gave off a metallic aura. Alchemy power kept converging, and the multicolored clouds grew larger and larger, emitting a shocking pressure that enveloped the surroundings. Wang Jian and the others stared at the colorful sky, wondering what the ancient weapon grandmaster was trying to do. The ancient weapon grandmaster only obeyed their majesty, and they couldn't control it as they pleased. Roar! The countless ancient weapon gods became abnormally excited. They raised their heads to the sky and roared loudly. Their voices shook the surroundings, as if a group of demons had come into being. The scene was both shocking and terrifying. Boom! The ancient weapon grandmaster spat out a huge blood-colored beam of light, which shot towards the colorful clouds in the sky with a terrifying aura. The colorful clouds immediately surged and formed slender spirals that fell from the sky, falling into the mouths of the ancient weapon gods. The ancient armament god madly devoured this power, and its body gave off boundless light. Its body quickly grew, and its aura became more and more powerful. Only then did Wang Jian and the others realize that the ancient weapon grandmasters were using their own power to trigger the changes in the world, strengthening the power of the ancient weapon gods. The ancient divine armaments madly grew, only stopping when they were 1,000 meters tall. Numerous 1,000-meter tall divine armaments appeared in front of Wang Jian and the others. They all had blood-red eyes and claw-like hands, giving off an aura that could threaten the world. The scene was incredibly terrifying. Wang Jian looked at the countless ancient divine armaments and a smile appeared on his face. These ancient divine armaments would be of great use in the upcoming battles. The colorful clouds in the sky dissipated, and the abnormal signs stopped. The ancient weapon grandmaster looked at Wang Jian and the others and roared, as if he was saying, "Where did my great master go?" After obtaining such great power, all of the ancient divine armaments had become more powerful, allowing them to unleash their original power. As such, he wanted to take credit and have Zhao Fu give him even more rewards. Now, he needed more of Zhao Fu's origin blood. Only with this origin blood would he be able to unleash the ancient divine armament's full potential, allowing him to become even more powerful. As for ordinary alchemy hearts, they would not be of much use to him. Wang Jian understood what the ancient weapon grandmaster meant and replied, "His Majesty has gone to the outer world and has not returned." The ancient weapon grandmaster roared in disappointment and had the ancient divine armaments disperse. Wang Jian did not disturb the ancient divine armaments and smiled as he said, "Send orders to the heaven-awakened world and tell Qin about the changes to the ancient divine armaments." The Qin Empire. Right now, the immense power of the Qin Empire was held by two people, Li Si and Bai Qi. One of them dealt with internal affairs while the other dealt with military affairs. After receiving the news from the alchemy world, Li Si smiled and said, "His Majesty will be very happy when he returns." A trace of a smile appeared on Bai Qi's face as he said, During this time, it's best for us to be on guard against the various kingdoms." Li Si asked, "How are things going with the insects?" Bai Qi replied, "I've already sent some experts to the outer world to search for insect dens to complete what His Majesty was unable to do. These insects are the most important way to keep the various kingdoms in check, so we can't afford to make any mistakes." Li Si nodded. "I wonder when His Majesty will return. There's no news at all. I hope that he won't encounter any danger." Bai Qi said, "With His Majesty's fate that reigns above all creatures, it will be very difficult for anyone to kill His Majesty. We don't need to worry too much. Inside the Qin imperial harem, Wu Qingyang lightly harumphed. That fellow seems to be having a good time somewhere, and he's still not back yet. When he comes back, we'll teach him a good lesson. Nu Lu smiled as she said, perhaps husband has some important matters to attend to, or else he would not have taken so long to come back. Jiang Ro lightly laughed as she said, I don't mind what he does outside. As long as he's safe, that's enough. Nu Lu lightly smiled as she said, I'm used to it. I just hope that he's fine. Right now, the entire Qin Empire revolves around him, so we can't allow anything to happen to him. Wu Qingyang said, don't worry about him. He'll be fine. After all, he has 8 supreme emperor stars. Hua Yi lightly nodded and said, let's just wait for him to come back. Back at Zhao Fu, Hua Yi nodded. After escaping from the secret realm, Zhao Fu sensed that no one was chasing after him and felt quite surprised. However, he let out a sigh of relief and returned to the city. Seeing that Zhao Fu had returned, Erisina asked, how did it go? Zhao Fu smiled as he said, I obtained 3 bronze shards and devoured an ancient spirit domain. However, we need to immediately leave this place. Erisina smiled and replied with a hum. It was most likely impossible for there to be bronze shards nearby, and most of the experts who had entered the historical remnant could not be found. There is only information about a few people, and Zhao Fu hoped that they would have bronze shards. Now, Zhao Fu had 10 bronze shards, and he had most likely collected 1/3 of them. Zhao Fu and the others followed the information they had received and flew in a certain direction. Chapter 27-27. Book 1, Chapter 172, translated by Hypersheep 325, edited by Mike. Here, after a few days, Zhao Fu and his group came to that place. This place was an island in the middle of a lake, and it was quite big. There was a school of black dragon fish living in the lake, which were quite ferocious and were predatory fish. However, their meat was said to be quite delicious and chewy. After coming here, Zhao Fu directly asked about the person who had entered the historical remnant. Now that so many years had passed, that person had already passed away. However, Zhao Fu had asked about his descendants, and after asking them, they did not have the bronze shard. Zhao Fu stealthily sensed his descendants, and after confirming that there were none, he prepared to leave this place in disappointment. They did not have their cloaks on them, and Zhao Fu secretly sensed his descendants and confirmed that they did not have any descendants. Just as Zhao Fu was about to leave in disappointment, a few young men dressed in black with black horns on their heads and giving off dragon's might surrounded Zhao Fu and his group. They did not have cloaks on them. A ferocious-looking young man arrogantly laughed as he said, Boy, since you dared to come to our territory, why aren't you paying tribute? Give me a few of your women to play with. With his demon dragon senses, Zhao Fu could tell that these people were people from the primordial demon dragon bloodline, and he lightly laughed as he said, If you want, you can come and try. Erisina and the other women looked at these young men mockingly. These people dared to take liberties with them in front of Zhao Fu. They were seeking death. Seeing that Zhao Fu did not take him seriously, the ferocious-looking young man became furious, and his hand turned into a black dragon claw and grabbed towards Zhao Fu with great power. Chi! The ferocious-looking young man's body froze. His chest had been pierced by an arm, and that arm was holding a beating heart. This ferocious-looking young man looked quite powerful, but he had been instantly killed by Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu pulled his hand out, and the ferocious-looking young man's corpse fell to the ground. Zhao Fu put the beating heart in his hand into his mouth and bit into it before throwing it to the side. This bloody and savage scene scared everyone present, and they looked at Zhao Fu as if they were looking at a murderous demon. The others turned around and ran away in fear. A blood-red mist flowed out from Zhao Fu's body, forming a few insect-like things that pierced through the chests of a few people. Blood splattered everywhere, and the youths immediately died. The blood-red mist then retreated back into Zhao Fu's body. Seeing Zhao Fu kill so many people from the primordial dragon race, The people in the surroundings hurriedly retreated, not daring to get close to Zhao Fu for fear of attracting trouble. They knew that the primordial dragon race was one of the most powerful races in the primordial world, and the key was within their territory. Roar! No one was surprised, and a massive dragon's roar sounded out as a massive black dragon appeared in the sky, giving off a powerful aura. The black dragon looked down and roared angrily. "Who killed my son?" Everyone looked at Zhao Fu in fear, and Zhao Fu walked out and coldly laughed as he said, "I killed him. Your son dared to offend me, so he deserves to die." Seeing that Zhao Fu dared to act so arrogantly after killing his son, the black dragon gave off monstrous power as it charged toward Zhao Fu. The aura it gave off seemed to be able to cause the ground to cave in. Just as the black dragon was about to smash into Zhao Fu stood his ground and punched out. Bang! A massive sound rang out as Zhao Fu's punch landed on the dragon's head, causing a massive wind to blow out. The ground cracked, and the black dragon's body was sent flying back. The black dragon felt quite startled. It had never thought that Zhao Fu would be so powerful. Zhao Fu quickly rushed at the black dragon, and the black dragon hurriedly slashed out with its claws, sending out 5 massive arcs of light toward Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu's body moved to the side, easily dodging this attack. The black dragon opened its mouth, and countless rays of black light shot out, wanting to attack Zhao Fu again. Zhao Fu stretched out a hand, and a blood-red fog flowed out, forming an enormous blood-red fog hand that grabbed the black dragon's head and flung it away. The black dragon spat out a black beam of light, which was uncontrollably shot to the side, shattering a small mountain and causing it to collapse. The black dragon was quite powerful, but Zhao Fu was even more powerful. The black dragon felt quite afraid and understood that it was not a match for Zhao Fu. It wanted to run, but Zhao Fu had already appeared above its head and punched out with terrifying power, slamming into the black dragon's head. The black dragon's body fell from the sky, smashing open a large crater in the ground. Within the crater, blood flowed out of the black dragon's mouth, looking heavily injured. Zhao Fu landed in front of it and said mockingly, "What did you want to do? You wanted to kill me, right? It shouldn't be a problem for me to kill you, right?" The black dragon said in terror, "I was wrong. Don't kill me." Now, the black dragon felt regret. He had many sons, and if one died, then so be it. He could still live, but he did not want to die here. Zhao Fu did not want to let off, and he punched out with shocking power towards the black dragon, bringing with it an intense wind. It seemed as if he was going to kill the black dragon, but the black dragon could no longer resist. Suddenly, a figure appeared in front of the black dragon, and its hands turned into dragon claws as it blocked. Bang! A muffled sound rang out as Zhao Fu's fist slammed into that person's arms, causing that person to take 2 or 3 steps back. The person who had come was a valiant-looking young man dressed in black. Zhao Fu coldly looked at the young man and asked, "Who are you, and why are you stopping me?" The young man replied seriously, "My name is Long Hongming. Sir, why are you killing someone from the desolate ancient demon-dragon bloodline?" Zhao Fu lightly harumphed. His son offended me and wanted to kill me, so I naturally had to kill them. Also, get out of my way, or you'll die too. From that attack, Long Hongming understood that Zhao Fu's strength was greater than his, and the pressure Zhao Fu was under was immense. The black dragon said, "I don't know how my son offended you, but I apologize. Also, this person beside me is a major figure from the desolate ancient demon-dragon bloodline. This is the demon-dragon bloodline's territory, and you'll definitely cause a lot of trouble for him." Long Hongming said, "Since it's a misunderstanding and he's heavily injured, let's just forget about it." Zhao Fu thought about it and was not interested in continuing. He lightly nodded and prepared to leave. A cute-looking young woman with a dragon horn on her forehead happily leapt at Zhao Fu and called out, "Young master." Zhao Fu looked at the cute girl hanging off him and frowned as he asked, "Who are you?" The young woman said happily, "I'm Long Wushui's dragon sovereign's servant, and your Lord Dragon Sovereign's legatee, so you're my young master." Hearing Long Wushui's name, everyone's expressions fell. They had never been able to tell that Zhao Fu was that evil dragon's legatee. No wonder he was so violent and savage. Everyone had been harmed by that evil dragon in the past, and, thinking about it, they felt terrified. The black dragon felt even more afraid, now that they had offended that evil dragon's legatee. Not just him, but his entire family might be harmed. What should they do? Apex. Chapter 27-28. Book 1, Zhao Fu. Long Hongming's expression became serious. He had never thought that Zhao Fu would have such a great background. Since he was that evil dragon's legatee, he definitely had a purpose for coming here, and he would definitely cause trouble. In the future, the demon dragon bloodline would not be peaceful. Hearing Long Wushui's expression, Zhao Fu guessed who it was, and he suddenly thought of that sealed black dragon. He had obtained her legacy. Zhao Fu looked at the cute young girl on his body and said, "The Long Wushui dragon sovereign you're talking about is that sealed demon dragon?" The cute young girl sweetly smiled and nodded. "That's right. Is Lord Dragon, sovereign, doing well?" Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "Not bad. I'll be able to undo the seal in another 100 or so years." Whoosh! Everyone was sent into an uproar, and looks of shock and fear appeared on their faces. That evil dragon would be able to undo the seal in another 100 or so years. If she undid the seal, they would be persecuted again. What was going on? Wasn't that evil dragon sealed this entire time? Long Hongming also looked quite shocked. He had not known that the demon dragon was about to undo the seal. This was definitely a big matter that would shake the entire demon dragon bloodline. The young girl's eyes widened as she said, "Really? That's great." She did not know that Zhao Fu did not have a good relationship with the demon dragon, and that the demon dragon would immediately kill Zhao Fu after undoing the seal. Moreover, she did not know that Zhao Fu could undo the seal at any time. Zhao Fu smiled as he asked, "What's your name?" The cute young girl replied, "I'm called Long Yunyan." Zhao Fu smiled as he replied, "Did your master leave anything good behind?" Long Yunyan asked curiously, "Young master, you're speaking so strangely. Master should be your master, so why are you talking about him?" Zhao Fu gave an awkward smile as he said, "Did master leave anything good behind?" Long Yunyan tilted her head and thought for a moment before saying, "I'm not sure. Do you want to come with me to Master's Dragon Palace?" Hearing this, Zhao Fu thought for a moment before saying, "All right." Now that he realized that the person didn't have the bronze shard, Zhao Fu had nowhere else to go. He could go to Long Wushui's Dragon Palace to take a look. She liked to collect treasures, so maybe she had some. Long Wushui still didn't know about this. If he knew what Zhao Fu had done, he would definitely explode in anger. Long Hongming hurriedly said, "Wait." Zhao Fu turned to look at him and asked, "What's the matter?" Now, that Zhao Fu was a person who would definitely cause big things in the future. Long Hongming naturally wanted to know more about Zhao Fu and understand what kind of person Zhao Fu was. Long Hongming smiled and said, "My actions just now were a bit inappropriate. I hope this friend will not take it to heart." Zhao Fu replied, "Oh." Long Hongming continued, "I want to get to know a friend. I don't know if you're willing." Zhao Fu thought for a moment. "No problem." Long Yunyan pouted and said, "Young master, don't have any dealings with them. These people don't help master even though he's been sealed, and they don't even want to help master undo the seal. I hate them." Zhao Fu said without turning red. "It's because master is too unsociable that he was sealed. As master's legatee, I should change the situation. I'm only doing this for master's sake." Long Yunyan thought about it and felt that Zhao Fu's words made sense, so she nodded and did not object. Long Hongming inwardly let out a sigh of relief. He had thought that Zhao Fu was an evil, savage, and ruthless person, but now he felt that Zhao Fu's character wasn't bad. Long Hongming said, "May I know your name?" Zhao Fu replied, "I'm called Long Tianba." Zhao Fu had casually given himself this name. He remembered that the dragon race was named after Long, so he had also given himself a name after Long. Long Hongming smiled and said, "Brother Tianba, let's find a place to talk. I want to get to know you better." Zhao Fu said. What do you want to say? I still have things to do. Long Hongming looked quite awkward as he said, what is Brother Tianba's identity? I don't feel like you're from our desolate ancient dragon race. How did you obtain the revered dragon's legacy? Long Yunyan looked at Zhao Fu curiously. She also wanted to know more about the young master. Zhao Fu smiled as he replied, firstly, I'm from the desolate ancient dragon race. As he spoke, Zhao Fu gave off a pure, desolate ancient demon dragon's aura, causing everyone to feel quite startled. Before, no one had thought that Zhao Fu was from the desolate ancient demon dragon race. Zhao Fu continued to say, I don't want to tell you my identity, and you probably won't be able to find out. As for how I obtained the legacy, I accidentally broke into the seal and obtained the revered dragon's appreciation and favor. So she gave all of her legacy to me, as well as all of her treasures. If Long Wushui heard this, she would immediately want to devour Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu had viciously tortured her, and in the end, they had made a deal to give Zhao Fu all of his treasures and legacy. She did not admire or like Zhao Fu at all, and she instead hated Zhao Fu to the bone. Long Yunyun smiled as she said, I believe in Master's judgment. Young Master, you definitely have extraordinary talent, and I believe that you'll become the young master of the demon dragon race. Right now, we don't have a young master. Did Master send you back to become the young master? Long Hongming's heart shook. He had almost forgotten about this matter. The demon dragon race was about to choose a young master, and now that Zhao Fu had returned, he was definitely competing for the position. With Zhao Fu's strength, Long Hongming felt that Zhao Fu had a high chance of becoming the young master, and he could not help but value Zhao Fu even more. If Zhao Fu became the young master of the demon dragon race, he would be the most respected person in the demon dragon race. Hearing this, Zhao Fu looked quite confused as he asked, what young master? Hearing this, Long Yunyun and Long Hongming looked quite confused. Long Yunyun asked curiously, young master, did Master tell you? Every once in a while, our demon dragon race will choose a young master to lead the demon dragon race. Now is the time to choose a young master. Zhao Fu asked, what are the benefits of becoming the young master of the demon dragon race? Long Yunyan said, there are great benefits. If you become the young master, you'll be worshipped by everyone in the demon dragon race, and you'll have boundless treasures and women. You'll also be able to obtain the primordial demon dragon's legacy, and you can even become the ruler of the primordial dragon race and awaken the dragon race's supreme emperor star, the primordial dragon star. Hearing this, Zhao Fu gave a trace of an interested smile as he said, I can give it a try and see if I can become the young master. Long Yunyun said happily, I believe that young master will definitely become the young master of the demon dragon race. Long Hongming had wanted to compete for the position of young master, but he knew that he was not a match for Zhao Fu, so he gave up on this idea and smiled as he said, I'm just hoping that Brother Tianba will become the young master of the demon dragon race. Zhao Fu smiled as he said, many thanks. Black Dragon, who was lying on the ground, grasped this opportunity and said flatteringly, I wholeheartedly support Sir in becoming the young master of the demon dragon race. He just hoped that Zhao Fu would not pursue what he had just done, or else the consequences would be unimaginable. Chapter 27-29, Book 1, Chapter 174. Dragon King Zhao Fu nodded and did not pay much attention to that fellow. He then said goodbye to Long Hongming and went to Long Wushui's Dragon Palace. Long Wushui's Dragon Palace was extremely big, and it was almost the size of a continent. There were all sorts of tall and luxurious buildings, and there were not many people around. Long Yunyan told Zhao Fu and the others to wait before calling over 3 people. One of them was an ice-cold elder, one was a tall and slim woman, and the last was a fierce-looking youth. Long Yunyan smiled as she introduced them. They're called Long San, Long Qin, and Long Xiong. They are master's servants, and they are in charge of managing the Dragon Palace. Long San and the other 2 also sized up Zhao Fu. They had heard that Long Wushui's legatee had returned to the Dragon Palace and felt quite shocked. They had never thought that Long Wushui would choose a legatee. Seeing Zhao Fu's appearance and sensing the pure Long Wushui's aura within Zhao Fu's body, Long San and the others confirmed Zhao Fu's identity. They smiled and bowed toward Zhao Fu. "Greetings, young master." After so many years, it was a good thing that the Dragon Palace had a young master, so they did not object. Zhao Fu smiled and nodded. These three people's strength had already reached the peak of the Dao realm, and they were just a trace away from the higher being realm. They were much more terrifying than Zhao Fu, so Zhao Fu did not look down on them. Long San smiled as he asked, "I heard from Yun that Master still has 100 or so years to break the seal. May I ask if that's true?" Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "It's true." Hearing this, the smiles on their faces became even wider. Long Yun said, "Young Master said that he wants to see what treasures the Dragon Palace has. We'll bring young Master around. He'll be the master of this place from now on, so he naturally wants to familiarize himself with it." Long Qin smiled as she said, "That's naturally not a problem. Young Master, please follow me." Following this, Zhao Fu followed Long San and the others around the Dragon Palace. The first place they went to was the Spirit Medicine Garden, where all sorts of rare and precious spirit medicines were planted. For example, the dragon-shedding tree that Zhao Fu had obtained before was filled with dragon-shedding trees. Apart from the dragon-molting tree, there was also the human transformation grass that could turn insects into humans in advance, the moon sun fruit that could increase one's lifespan, the dragon heart vine that could give ordinary people the bodies of dragons, the elemental spirit grass that could increase one's cultivation, and the battle intent leaf that could give one battle intent. Unfortunately, although these things were very rare and precious, Zhao Fu's body was even more monstrous and terrifying, so these spirit medicines were useless to him. Next, they came to the bug zone. There were all sorts of bug beasts, some of which Zhao Fu had seen before, some of which he had never seen before. For example, there was the sea demon bug that could release bewitching songs. Its lower body was that of a fish, and its upper body was that of a worm, and it only lived near water. There was also a two-legged toad that was extremely fast, and there were also transparent butterflies that emitted light that could form all sorts of images. These bug beasts were very rare, and they were very useful to Zhao Fu. After all, the first evil immortal needed to devour all sorts of bloodlines. Now that there were so many precious bug beasts here, Zhao Fu did not have to search for them himself. Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "I need all of the bug beasts' essence blood. Help me collect them later." Long Qin smiled as she said, "No problem. Also, young master, some bug beasts are especially delicious. Do you need us to prepare some for you?" Zhao Fu smiled as he asked, "Are you raising these rare bug beasts to eat?" Long Qin smiled as she nodded. "Master usually likes to eat these bug beasts raw, so we raise some." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "I'll tell you in a bit. Take me to other places to have a look." Following this, Zhao Fu followed Long Qin to the armory. There were all sorts of weapons and equipment here, and they were piled up into small mountains. There was no end to them, and all of them gave off a treasure light. They were not ordinary equipment, but superior equipment. It was a pity that Zhao Fu did not have many soldiers in the outer world, and Qin soldiers could not use these equipment due to their stats. Otherwise, he could have brought them all back. Looking at the dust here, it seemed that these equipment had not been used in a long time. Following this, they came to a pond. This pond was 10,000 meters wide, and there were trees and flowers growing around it. It was located at the bottom of a massive cliff. There was a huge stone dragon on top of the mountain. It looked like it was lying on the cliff. The stone dragon did not look like a carving, but more like the corpse of a dragon. Crystal clear, spring water flowed out of its mouth and flowed into the pool. Long Qin smiled as she introduced, "This is the dragon's celestial pond, where Master bathes." Ordinary dragons can not only increase their power and expel impurities from their bodies, but they can also change their appearances. Ordinary people can control a type of dragon power after drinking some of the pond water. Master spent a lot of effort to obtain this treasure. That stone dragon was one of Master's enemies, and Master killed it and made it into a decoration. It can also increase the dragon celestial pawn's dragon power. Zhao Fu said with interest, "Can I take a look?" Long Qin smiled as she said, "Of course, Master loved to stay here in the past. Young Master, you can also go in and have a try." Zhao Fu came to the side of the pond and cupped some of the water. He could feel the power contained within. It was a very powerful dragon power, and it also contained some celestial power. It was most likely a type of dragon celestial power, and if he brought this back, he would be able to nurture a large number of people with dragon celestial power. Zhao Fu decided that he could bring this back, but now was not the right time, so Zhao Fu did not do it. Next was the Dragon Wall. This was not very important, as it recorded Long Wushui's various techniques and terrifying powers. Zhao Fu had already obtained these through the legacy. After looking around the Dragon Palace, Zhao Fu smiled in satisfaction and did not stand on ceremony as he stayed, enjoying everything that Long Wushui had. Zhao Fu did not know that his appearance had caused a huge commotion in the Demon Dragon's land. Now, everyone knew that Zhao Fu had returned to fight for the position of Demon Dragon's young master, as well as that evil dragon seal that would be undone in 100 years. That evil dragon undoing the seal gave everyone a headache. They did not like Long Wushui, or else they would have helped her break the seal. What gave them a headache was that if her legatee became the Demon Dragon's young master, Long Wushui would definitely harm them in the future. As Long Wushui's legatee, he would definitely not be someone to be trifled with. Now, things had become even more complicated and difficult, and everyone was filled with worry. They did not know what would happen in the upcoming Demon Dragon's Young Master contest. They hoped that Zhao Fu would not become the Demon Dragon's young master, or else things would become even more troublesome. The various people who had the qualifications to fight for the Demon Dragon's young master title were all trying to find out about Zhao Fu, and they already saw Zhao Fu as one of their strongest enemies. Peak. Chapter 2730. Book 1, Chapter 175. It was not just the Demon Dragon lineage. The other dragon clans also cared about it. First, Long Wushui had a bad reputation, and second, Long Wushui's power was terrifying. Even though she was sealed, she was one of the strongest in the desolate ancient dragon clan, and many people feared her power. Everyone started to ask about Zhao Fu, but they did not find anything. It was as if he had suddenly appeared and entered the seal. The other dragon clans were also quite interested in the selection of the Demon Dragon lineage's young master. Within the desolate ancient god-dragon bloodline, Dragon Insignia was not surprised at all. She had expected that Zhao Fu would participate in the competition for the Demon Dragon bloodline's young master, and she had waited for a while. Now, Zhao Fu had finally appeared. Long Huiling thought about it, and called over Long Hao and the others as she said, "You should all know that he appeared in the Demon Dragon territory, right?" Long Hao respectfully nodded as he said, "Everyone is talking about this matter, and we know that it's not just the young master. Why did you call us here?" Long Huiling smiled as she said, "I want to see him in person and see if he's as powerful as you say he is. Come with me." Long Hao smiled as he replied, "All right." Long Huiling brought the four of them to the Dragon Palace, and because of this, Zhao Fu called them in. Long Hao smiled as he said, "Friend, I never thought that we would meet so soon. This is our young master, Long Huiling." Zhao Fu smiled as he nodded and stretched out a hand as he said, "Please sit. What is it?" Long Huiling looked at Zhao Fu and felt that Zhao Fu was not ordinary. If it was an ordinary dragon, they would be very respectful and courteous, but this person did not fear her identity at all. He sat by the side and smiled as he said, "I heard that Long Hao admired you, so I came to see you for myself." Zhao Fu lightly laughed as he said, "Now that you've seen me, what do you think of me?" Long Huiling smiled as she said, "You're definitely not an ordinary person and have shocking talent. I'm sure that the Demon Dragon lineage's young master will be yours." Zhao Fu said, "Thank you for your praise. The position of the Demon Dragon bloodline's young master will indeed be mine." Long Huiling was shocked. She just said that Zhao Fu was very likely to become the young master of the demonic dragon bloodline, But she didn't expect that Zhao Fu directly admitted that he would definitely become the young master of the demonic dragon bloodline. This person might seem arrogant, but if she didn't know about the seal, she wouldn't know how terrifying Zhao Fu was. Long Huiling said with a smile, "If you become the young master of the demonic dragon clan, will you be willing to ally with me?" Zhao Fu asked, "Why should I join forces with you?" The dragon emblem spirit replied, "There's no harm in allying with me. Moreover, our two bloodlines can join together to resist the Sky Dragon bloodline. The Sky Dragon bloodline is the most powerful bloodline in our desolate dragon race, and it has the complete inheritance of the desolate dragon power. Right now, its young master, Long Shiwu, has the desolate dragon star. He's the #1 genius of the desolate dragon race and the most powerful person in the desolate dragon race. He's the most eye-catching person, and I'm sure that if we join forces, we'll be able to suppress him." Zhao Fu said with some interest, "Is that so? I want to see his strength and see if he's a match for me." Now, Long Huiling felt that Zhao Fu was being too arrogant. He was the most powerful person in the desolate dragon race and had the desolate dragon star. He was an extremely famous, peerless genius in the outer world, and he was one of the top geniuses. Even though she acknowledged that Zhao Fu was very strong, he was definitely not as strong as Long Shiwu. However, Zhao Fu saying that he wanted to see if Long Shiwu was a match for him was simply too arrogant. Long Huiling could not help but look down on Zhao Fu. However, it was better to have one more friend than one more enemy, so she kindly warned him, "Don't be too confident. His strength is far more terrifying than you think." Zhao Fu nodded. She did not know that Zhao Fu was the #1 person in the Heaven Awakened world and had 8 Emperor Stars. It was no surprise that he was stronger than Long Shiwu. Zhao Fu looked at Long Huiling and smiled as he said, Got it." After chatting for a while, Long Huiling took her people and left. On the way, Long Hao asked, "Young master, what do you think of that person?" Long Huiling thought about it before replying, "He's quite strong, but he's too arrogant. However, it's very likely that he'll become the Demon Dragon Bloodline's young master." Long Hao thought about it and said, "I felt the same way before. He definitely didn't put the Sovereign of Dragon in his eyes and tortured the Sovereign of Dragon. Only he would dare to do something like that. And the Dragon Palace's people most likely don't know about what happened within the seal. Do we need to keep this a secret?" Long Huiling nodded. "It won't do us any good if this matter gets out. The key is that he controls the seal, and the Sovereign of Dragon will compromise, so it's unlikely that her people will harm him." Long Hao continued to ask, "Young master, you said that he has the strength to become the Demon Dragon Bloodline's young master, but will the other families let him become the Demon Dragon Bloodline's young master?" Long Huiling smiled and said, "It's the young master selection in a few days. We'll know once we come and take a look. I also want to see his true strength." Within the Dragon Palace, Zhao Fu had nothing to do, so he walked around the area where the spirit herbs were planted and saw if there were any that he needed to take away. Long Yunyan ran over and said, "Young master, why aren't you preparing? It's the Demon Dragon Bloodline's young master selection in a few days. You must win face for our master and become the Demon Dragon Bloodline's young master. Let everyone see that our master's legatee is also very powerful." Zhao Fu lightly smiled and said, "Don't worry, I'll definitely become the Demon Dragon Bloodline's young master." Long Sen smiled as he walked over. "I believe in young master's strength and master's foresight. However, young master, you should make some preparations just in case. I've arranged for the women you brought to another place so that they won't disturb your cultivation. If you need anything, just tell us directly." Zhao Fu felt quite speechless as he said, "All right." In actuality, there really wasn't much to prepare. With Zhao Fu's strength, it would be a joke if he couldn't become the Demon Dragon Bloodline's young master. However, Zhao Fu could use these few days to properly study the evil immortal domain and control the power of the 10 bronze shards. The Demon Dragon Bloodline was also actively preparing for the young master selection. Everyone was filled with confidence and felt that they would become the Demon Dragon Bloodline's young master and lead the entire demon dragon bloodline. As time slowly approached, the demon dragon's domain became more and more lively. It was time for the selection to begin, and many people began to gather in one place. Apart from the people from the demon dragon bloodline, there were also many people from the other dragon clans. Long Yunyun pulled Zhao Fu's hand and walked towards the young master selection. "Young master, hurry up." Long Qin couldn't help but smile and say, "Yunyun, don't be in such a hurry. It's not time yet, and even if you go early, you'll still have to wait there." Long Yunyun obediently nodded. Zhao Fu lightly laughed, and quite liked this lively and cute girl. Climax. Chapter 2731. Book 1, Chapter 176. End of Book 1. Zhao Fu and the others came to a building. This building was a square building with 45 floors and was over 1,000 meters tall. There was a large hole in the middle, which was where the demon dragon bloodline's young master would be chosen. To be the demon dragon bloodline's young master, one's bloodline had to be pure, and some mixed blood people had to go through a bloodline test. In the history of the demon dragon bloodline, there had never been a mixed blood dragon clan's young master. The second was that the ancient demon dragon's power within one's body had to be extremely pure, and one's grasp and comprehension of the ancient demon dragon's power had to reach a very high level. The selection method was not like the other dragon clans, which had all sorts of rules and regulations, but it was rather simple and brutal. A group of people would be thrown into a large hole and killed, and the final victor would be the demon dragon young master. Zhao Fu and the others walked into the building, and seeing Long San and the others following behind Zhao Fu, everyone quickly understood who Zhao Fu was, causing a commotion. "He's that evil dragon's legatee? He looks very mysterious. I wonder how strong he is. He's definitely not weak, or else he would not be able to become the evil dragon's legatee. However, to be able to become the evil dragon's legatee, he must be very evil and savage. I really don't want him to become the demon dragon young master. Think about how terrifying it would be for him to lead the demon dragon bloodline. That's right. I also hate him. That evil dragon stole our family's treasure and has not returned it to us yet. If it wasn't for the fact that the evil dragon is so powerful, I really want to teach it a lesson. I believe that Long Moya will definitely win against him. Long Moya is the most likely candidate to become the demon dragon bloodline's young master. Not only is he powerful, but he's also so handsome. Everyone, let's support him." Hearing these voices, Long Yunyun angrily said, "What are you all talking about?" Everyone did not say anything. They were still very wary of Zhao Fu and the others. Long Yunyun lightly harumphed and puffed up her cheeks as she pulled Zhao Fu to the side, and everyone made way for them. Zhao Fu and the others came to the side of the large hole. There were also many people waiting here, and they were all here to participate in the demon dragon young master selection. Everyone looked at Zhao Fu with vigilance. As mentioned before, many people treated Zhao Fu as an enemy. Zhao Fu didn't care about their gazes, and a faint smile appeared on his face. Long Yunyun said with concern, "Young master, be careful. We'll go up first." Zhao Fu smiled and nodded. Long San also says with a smile, "I hope that young master can become the young master of the mystic dragon." Zhao Fu nodded with a smile. Long San and the others came to the upper room, and their gazes continued to land on Zhao Fu. Long San said seriously, "Do you feel that young master can really obtain young master Mo Long?" Long Yunyun quickly nodded her head. "I believe that young master will definitely become the young master of the demonic dragon clan. Young master is the most powerful one among all of us." Long San looked at Long Xiong and Long Qin, completely ignoring Long Yunyun. Long Qin said with a trace of seriousness, "This young master is too mysterious to us, and he isn't willing to reveal too much information to us. I can't judge his strength, and I've asked him to prepare for the selection these few days, but he didn't take it to heart." Long Xiong also said in a low voice, "I hope that nothing unexpected happens, and that he has enough strength to obtain young master Mo Long. We also sincerely hope that he can become the young master Mo Long." Long San said, I still feel that this young master's identity isn't ordinary. He's always using something to hide his aura, and it gives me a feeling that he's harmless. Sometimes it feels extremely dangerous. I also believe in Master's judgment. Since she chose young Master, there must be something extraordinary about him. Everyone came to the side of the large hole below, and Long Hongming also came. When he saw Zhao Fu, he went over to greet Zhao Fu. Caw, caw, caw. Countless crows' caws sounded out, and a black-clothed, handsome youth with a slightly cold aura flew down. He was surrounded by many black dragon crows. He was Long Mo Crow. These dragon crows were made of dragon power, and their bodies were pitch black. There was a black crystal horn on their heads, and their eyes were also black. Their feathers looked soft, and their claws were like black iron. These dragon crows required one's comprehension of dragon power to reach a completely new realm, and there were not many people present. Long Mo Crow was extremely powerful, and he was indeed the most suitable candidate to become the young master of the demon dragon bloodline. Everyone looked at Long Mo Crow. After all, compared to Zhao Fu, Long Mo Crow was much more dangerous. At the highest level sat many noble and powerful figures, and many of them were almighty beings. This was the young master Mo Long selection, and if there was nothing important, these people would all participate. Now, everyone was discussing who would become the young master of the demon dragon bloodline, and the most discussed was Long Mo Crow. Because Zhao Fu had lost Long Wushui's legatee, many people were also discussing and paying attention to him. Zhao Fu glanced at Long Mo Crow, and he also retracted his gaze. A dignified-looking middle-aged man flew down from the highest level, and he swept his gaze over everyone as he said, "The young master Mo Long selection has begun. There are no rules, and the final victor will be the young master of the demon dragon bloodline." Boom! An explosion sounded out as boundless blood-red light came out of the large hole, and countless remnant dragon souls flowed out, giving off a shocking aura. Those dragon souls were all from the dragon race that had died in the cave, and their remnant souls had been restricted by the dragon cave. As the dragon souls flowed out, a massive wave of dragon race bloodline power continuously flowed out like a fountain, and those with impure bloodlines would feel immense pressure. If they had the strength, they would be able to resist and have a slight chance of becoming the young master of the demon race. This massive wave of bloodline power did not have much effect on those with pure bloodlines. Long Mo Crow was not affected at all, and he calmly stood there. Zhao Fu was not affected either, as he had already obtained a pure dragon race bloodline. After a while, a few people could not hold on any longer, and their bodies were pushed to the edge by the wave-like wave of bloodline power. Those who had failed the first test were not too bad, and they were eliminated here. Those who entered the dragon cave next would most likely be in life-threatening danger. Long Mo Crow leapt into the massive dragon cave, and at that moment, the massive wave of bloodline power was still flowing out like a fountain, giving off a terrifying aura. Everyone looked quite startled. They had never thought that Long Mo Crow would do this. Facing the massive wave of bloodline power, Long Mo Crow stretched out a hand, and a massive dragon claw image appeared, which he pressed down. Boom! A massive explosion sounded out as the dragon claw pressed against the dragon cave. The massive amount of bloodline power that was surging out was suppressed by the dragon claw, and the bloodline power that was surging out slowly stopped. The terrifying aura also disappeared. Long Mo Crow leapt into the dragon cave, breaking the rules and becoming the first person to enter. Apex, you're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.